Yo,
Hey, it's a
back for
pleasure.
another one. Leisure World Live late night. Here with my boy Will.
What
What up
up?
with you?
I'm the boy Will. Man, not
Yeah.
a whole lot up with me right now. Just smoked up a little bit. I was just sitting here looking in my mirror. I was like, this isn't healthy. So I was like, gotta hit it, my boy.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm behind
You
the
ever get like
times.
that?
I'm still waiting on my sack to get here, so I can't even be 100% in the mood and the vibe that I want to be in. But it's a pleasure to have you on here.
Hey, it's a pleasure myself. It's a pleasure to be here. But yeah, dude, first podcast appearance. I'm trying to try new shit. You know, whether it's like, I don't know, whatever opportunity comes my way. You know what I mean? Just trying to try things. So this is nice. This will
Yeah.
be a fun little way to like kind of pop that bubble again, you know? I feel
Yeah.
like I used to be like a very social person and I've just been kind of I don't know, I just moved here recently, you know. I've just kind of had my head down paying attention before I can like,
From where?
go from Washington,
Oh,
Washington
okay.
State. Yeah, yeah, I'm from Spokane,
You from
Washington, a
the
little bit
state.
north of there.
Uh,
So, yeah, dude, it was different back there, man. Like my neighbors had horses and like we'd ride snowmobiles and you know,
damn.
it was the whole thing.
And that's where
But
you got into skateboarding in Washington. That's typically a Cali thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Skateboarding's got a huge reach. Everybody kind of does skateboarding differently now. So up in
Uh-huh.
the PNW, the skateboarding, everything you'll see. I mean, there's definitely some street style parks and mellow parks here and there, but like the good skate parks, they're all big transition or little transition. It's just transition in general, bowls, vert, and like flyouts, and down here in California, it's very like that still exists, but it's much less common. Vert skating is transition skating has kind of died out down here or like been like diluted with so much street style skateboarding, and I feel like every park I'm coming across down here is just not quite the transition I'm looking for. So that's one thing I miss from Washington for sure. They have a different style up there, even over across Idaho, Montana. um I don't know how to say other than like they ride a skateboard like a mountain boy, because we all, I mean, I guess there's
Like a
snowboarding and
what?
surfing down here, but
Like a
mountain
mountain?
boys. Yeah, yeah,
What is
yeah.
that?
I don't know. It's just how I'd kind of
It's a skateboarding
classify
place?
that age range of dudes who grew up in that like mountainy area.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
So how would it be if it was set up the way you would ideally want it? Like how the skateboarding scene.
Honestly, I think the scene down here is fantastic. The scene back home is really sick too. So shout out to Spokane, Washington, and all the skateboarders keeping it up and thriving. My best friend Nico and his family uh, started up a skate shop called Broke Skate, and I've been heavily involved. Um, I love it. I love the skate community there. It was kind of hard to walk away from it, but coming down here, I mean, it's just you got to expect it's going to be different. We're in the LBC, but this whole LA area, there's a lot of skateboarders and there's a lot of high level skateboarders. And just like how you were talking about earlier with YouTube and that crowd being kind of like high school with the popular kids and everybody flocks to them and whatever, it's the same thing as skateboarding. Like you see it everywhere. So it's like you can be a really talented skateboarder. And if you're not like presenting yourself in that way of like I'm the shit, having that level of cockiness that you need to just kind of like be provocative and get the attention,
Yeah.
um, you're not gonna get it. There's a lot of competition. So I haven't been able to like really that's a lie. Let me rewind. I know a couple of guys down here pretty well. Know them by name basis. I see them, they see me, they're like, what up? Like we're excited to ride together, skate the same bowl or whatever. Um, And like your average skateboarder down here is pretty sick. But skateboarders are kind of the same everywhere. That's something I love. Um, the average Joe down here, though, like I'm an average Joe, pretty sick people. But like what you hear people talking about or what you see getting attention is like 1%, 1% with everything. But I'm trying to be that 1%, I'm tired of like walking around trying to be humble, trying to be chill, not trying to like put myself on top of other people. I've been really trying to like assess
Well,
before like I assert. So
like you
I don't
said,
know.
you want to be the 1%, but like I'm saying, like we both acknowledge things is getting smaller. Like it's becoming more just your average everyday person is what's being sought out as far as entertainment goes. And so I feel like everybody's on the same level, everybody's on the ground floor. So the way that they were doing the X Games back in the 90s, I feel like
Yeah.
just your average everyday skate crew could generate that same type of buzz because the X game isn't hoarding all of the viewers. Like
Right.
viewers across all entertainment fields are looking for new shit to watch, and they're all gravitating to regular people shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if I was
It's-
you, realistically, if I was you, I'd put together a skate crew and try to find a rival skate crew and then just do skate tournaments. Like I might like we might could do something. We might could link up, and I can fuck with some. We can fuck with some of these business owners that may want to sponsor an event. You feel me? Like get a permit at one of these skate parks in Long Beach and just host a skate event. Stream it and just but promote it locally. Just promote it
Bro, you
locally.
know what I'm
People,
gonna do real
people
quick?
coming out for everything.
I'm gonna write
What's
that
that?
down right now.
Yeah, bet, bro. I'm telling you, you fuck with me, we could do shit. Because I'm the type of person that I got a lot of connections. I talk to people a lot. I just talk to people, and there's a lot of people that's down to collaborate with me on things. But I don't like to come to people with like half ass shit. You feel me? So if me and you like we got this shop right here, Long Beach certified, I know for sure they'll host an event. And if you had some skaters that and we could actually put some stuff to it could be something as simple as a skate tournament, just as let's play skate between 8 people and see who wins. They'll do it, and we could do it, and we film it, have some people come down, get some photos and everything. That's the type of shit that I'm just trying to do on a local, regular ass person level. You don't gotta buy fucking $300 tickets to the Long Beach Convention Center to see celebrities do what regular people could do better. That's just how I feel.
No, that's so for real. And that's how skateboarding is too, bro. Skateboarding is one of those weird things where you could be just minding your own business at like a local park. Um, sorry, let me get my light going again. There we go.
Yeah, my lighting
Um,
is trash too. I got the
and somebody's
thing
dad, some
back
dude,
down.
he's like 36 years old. He pulls up and he's out skating everybody. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows his name, just highly
Yeah,
talented, but very like non-provocative.
yeah,
But no, I just wrote that down in my video ideas. So I'm actually hella game to do that. Um,
yeah.
I'm about to start posting on YouTube
You just
as
added
well.
it.
I've recorded like 45 minutes of footage over the past few days. I'm just
Nice.
sitting on it. I need to chop it up and
That's
just
what I'm.
post.
Yeah, post it, bro. Put it up there because that's what I'm promoting for everybody that I know to do that. I'm like, look, man, just because I've never done social media. I'm new to social media, period. Like I've never had a Facebook, never did Instagram, never just name a thing, never did it.
Heard.
I did AIM when it first came out. I'm pretty sure you're too young to even know what that was. AOL Instant Messenger that came out, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. It's kind of cool. And then once they started coming with I think I created a MySpace because that's what everybody. It was like it was the first new shit like that, and that's what everybody was doing. But then in me creating it and then being like, so what now? They were like, you just put stuff and you just put stuff about your life and people will read it. And I'm like, I don't even like telling people stuff about my life. Why would I post it? or just
Right.
anybody to see. Like I don't like telling people that I know the details of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
life and what I'm up to and shit like that. So I was like, I don't know, I
That
don't get it.
part.
And then it came with all the rest of the shit, and I just, I just, they came with the Facebook and Instagram and all this shit. And I stuck with the same. Like I don't. Maybe it's something wrong with me, but I don't see the appeal. Like I don't. There's this movie back in the day that came out with Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Eminem in it. It was called The Wash. I don't know if
Okay.
you heard of it or
I
not,
haven't
but
seen it.
it was just a it was one of those. It came out during the golden age of hood movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out during it was it may have been straight to DVD. I don't even know if it came out in theaters, but it came out during the golden age of hood movies, and it was a golden age because even if the movie didn't come out in theaters, it was still likely a good ass fucking movie. They just didn't fuck with black movies in theaters
Yeah.
like that, like but so the Wash though, it has Snoop, Dr. Dre. I think they were the ones that produced it. I think DJ Pooh produced it or something like that. But anyways, so there's a scene in there where there's two groups of people. Let's just say group A, group B, all black people and everything. One trying to get over on the other. So group group B or group A is sitting around having a conversation at their house, just talking, shooting the shit, and then they get a call from group B. They don't know that it's group B. They're pretending to be some shit, and so they have a chick from group B is like, yeah, we're just calling from the government census bureau, and we're just trying to get a beat on like how many people are in your thing because we doing the census consensus whatever the fuck is. And she was like, how many people are in the house? The dude on the phone was like, man, it's just me, it's Big Worm, Trey D, Low, Goldie Low. And then one of the dudes was like, hey man, I ain't here, nigga, don't say I'm here, don't, nigga, I'm not here. And then so like I'm a kid watching it, but it like for some reason when he said that, I was like, hmm, I'm not here. Don't tell him I'm here. I'm not here. And I'm just like, damn, he's absolutely there for sure. I see him, but he's telling them to say I'm not here. And I'm like, damn, that is an easy way of just motherfuckers not knowing what you're up to. Because for some reason, as a kid and still throughout my life, I don't like people just knowing what I'm up to. I don't like everybody just having a drop on my life. So
Yeah.
that scene is always played in my head whenever Facebook or MySpace or anything popped up to where people was just giving their life for free for everybody to read about and see about. I was just like, nigga, I'm not here. I'm thinking
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
created a Facebook page, all it would say is, nigga, I'm not here. Don't be telling motherfuckers I'm here. That's all it would
That's
say.
how it
So
ultimately
I'm used
turned
to
out to
stalk
be.
basically.
I think that's ultimately how the internet turned out to be all these attention wanting, kind of grimy people. Like the same people
Yeah.
that do it in real life when real life stop get putting up with their bullshit, you take it to the
Yeah.
internet and there's the whole world.
Yes.
Somebody's
Dude,
gonna
and
vibe
they
with it.
raced. That's the
And it's
poison
gonna
about it, is they
reinforce your
get
shitty
embraced.
behavior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember how there were like class clowns in the in school that were good at it and had even the teacher laughing when even the teacher shouldn't be
Yeah.
laughing at the shit, but that like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
he's good
yeah.
at what he does. And then it was just the attention seekers that tried to be the class clown or try to be the cool person or whatever the fuck, and they were just trying hard, but they just would do some shit that make the whole class just look at them like, just
Yeah, be
shut the
like,
fuck up.
bruh.
Yeah, just sit the fuck down, Daryl,
Yeah.
dumbass. Now Daryl could hop online and link up with the rest of the Daryls in the world and have a whole coalition of dumb motherfuckers saying like, "Yeah, Daryl's right. Like he
Yeah.
motherfuckers, you shit sandwiches are delicious. I tried it, and it's like
And as
it don't matter
fucked as
how
it is, I'm
ridiculous
glad
you
that it's
are."
that way.
You said what?
I said, as fucked as it is, I'm glad that it is that way. I'm glad there's an
Why is
option
that?
in life
I hate
for the
it though. I
Daryls to be
hate it.
able to like. Yeah, I think it just ultimately comes down to like just appreciating freedom of speech because I'm like, you know what, 200,000 retarded Daryls can get together and pull in more millions than they all deserve, but the whole
And that's
rest of
a
the world's
problem.
the whole
That's
rest
what's
of the world's gonna
wrong
look at
with the
them and be
world.
like, "You fucking idiots." I don't know.
That's what's
It's a huge
wrong with the
problem for
world,
sure,
William.
but it's like
Like
it's just the
I get it.
reality.
I get the freedom of speech aspect of it. Yes, and absolutely. But I feel like the I said,
All good, all good. I get the lamb chops. Spinning my pen right now. Damn, drops it for the cam. Boom.
my bad. My bad. I had to get the door real quick. But
You're
yeah,
good,
no,
bro.
the freedom is I feel what was I gonna say? The freedom of speech aspect of everything. I feel like the lower the IQ of the population, the less freedom of speech there should be, and the higher,
Okay.
the more freely it should, but the more abundant freedom of speech should be. But the thing is, like, I don't feel like freedom of speech should be suppressed. Like, I don't feel like anybody should have their voice turned off. But I feel like
But like maybe you
I would
stop
much
teaching
more
them certain
appreciate
concepts.
yeah, I would much more appreciate if the IQ of the population was high enough to where when the idiots say some shit, it's disregarded. Like we know that there's idiots. Those are idiots, and there's no confusion amongst us about that. They can say what we want to say, but we not on their program. But the general population's IQ is so low that these idiots and their loudspeaker is actually moving society in a direction that we don't want it to go because they all agree with their own idiocy. You seen the movie Idiocracy?
I have. I can't remember a thing about it right now, but I've
That's
seen it
that's
before.
what we're marching towards that. The movie with what's his name in it? The one what is it? Luke Wilson, one of the Wilson brothers, the one without the fucked up nose. I don't know if you know the
Okay.
Luke Wilson, but
I
yeah,
don't
no,
know.
it was a hilarious movie.
I think that's a totally real take. Like I feel that to my core. I think that part of me is just like my own devil advocate for everything. So where like I'm like I feel this so much, but I also think that if we were to like put any limits on it, what's to say we wouldn't limit like smart people wouldn't limit other smart people who might have a point opposing and whatever. And ultimately just that fight of idiocy that is occurring is very similar to like a fight between good and evil, which is totally actually real and happening currently. And like everybody's action every day, you know, adds to that fight. And like, whether or not they know what side they're on, idiocy, good, evil, whatever. But I feel like being a educated person who has a voice and believes their words and isn't a fucking idiot, I think that we deserve every single right as well for freedom of speech in the same way that they do. So that way, like it's kind of like our obligated job to like be the pillars of society. Everybody can fucking freak out in the mosh pit, but if you're a pillar above and everybody's like, all right, this pillar is here, gotta recognize that and respect it, you know. It's just being that
Yeah,
voice amongst all that kind of helps settle things down again.
yeah. I like and appreciate that perspective, right? So when I go completely against it right now, don't take it as I'm trying to get you to change yours. I'm
Oh,
just
heard. No, no.
explaining. I'm just gonna get into why, like, I, I agree. I don't feel like freedom of speech should be suppressed. I feel like everybody should have the right to say whatever the fuck they want. Down to white people should be able to say nigga. And there should be
Okay.
no ramifications other than if there's like a personal beef and then like you just said it in the context to where like you meant it a certain way, he took it exactly that way, and now y'all, that's just a personal thing. But just on a general level, I feel like people shouldn't trip off of words that are said. Because I grew up. I don't know if I don't know if you know or not, but I grew up black, and so I,
Okay.
I grew up with the phrase "sticks and stones break your bones, but words will never hurt you." Right. So when
Yeah.
I was younger and I would get called nigga, I would get upset about it, and it'd turn into an altercation at like very young age, like third grade, fourth grade type shit. The teachers at the school, but sticks and stones, baby. So it got fucking rammed into my head. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let anybody. They're right. The teachers are right. I'm a straight A student, but now I'm in the office, possibly about to get suspended and be on an entirely different track in life because he used some words that I couldn't just ignore. So having words trigger me, that shit was eradicated in me at a very young age. So tolerating the things that people say is nothing to me. Like that's not why I say freedom of speech is a dangerous thing. It's just stupid people having more stupid people gravitate around them. That to me is the dangerous thing. That's why I say I just wish that the IQ of the population was high enough to where you could let stupid people say stupid shit, but it'll be a 5% stupid population and it'll stay at that percent. And if it does anything, it'll go down. But we're living in a generation to where the 5% went to 10, and then that 10 jumped to 15, and then that 15 jumped to 48, and then 48 is currently is sitting at like 67% just complete idiots that we're dealing with in society because
Yeah.
they have outlets, they have platforms to where they were like, am I right or am I right? I was like, yeah, you're right. And then because I'm pretty sure you had conversations with people who felt like they had a point, but when you pressed them on their point, they didn't have
They had no
anything to
backing.
back.
Yeah.
You got to look it up. You got to go online and do your research. And it's like,
I
can
know, they'll be
you
like, Google's
just
free. Fuck
explain
you.
to me in your words what you're talking about? You got to look it up. That's how you know, like you're just regurgitating talking points
Yeah,
from
yeah.
some other
Because
idiot
they're
with
not
the
telling you what they believe. They're telling you what they've read. They're telling you what they know off the top of their head. Because it's easier to tell something off the top of your head and stay involved in all of this shit because it replaces the depth of personality required to develop an opinion and stand by it. To feel a certain way and to live by that. You
Yeah,
know
dude, that's absolutely what. Yes, that is right.
that
Fucking
is one of
nail on the
two
head. That's
things
exactly what it is.
That is one of two things that really hold back society in general. That and the other one, this is how you, in my opinion, this is how you solve the problems that come with idiots and free speech and psychopaths and gun control and marginalized people and their rights, um, women's sexual health. Like how do you make all of these issues that tear us apart like actually get better? How do you solve them? You have leaders that inspire. And we've, as a people, completely lost the fucking plot that we're supposed to feel inspired rather than entertained. But they knew this. They knew this all along. Give them bread and circus.
Yes. Yep.
They've known this the whole fucking time. But we as the people, more than ever, like this might be our only chance right now with all these data centers going up, could unite and fucking realize that we need people to be inspired and we could shift our entire consciousness as a being, as a society. If we all interlocked, like bro, we would transcend, right? And it doesn't have to be like be
Yes.
the best person ever. It has to just be everybody needs to understand on a core level that we do not accept or tolerate what is happening anymore, and we know our worth as souls that have. Bro, we're antennas to such a great spiritual world out there. And they're fucking suppressing it with our
Yeah,
food and the
dude.
music we hear and the frequencies of all this shit and
We
5G,
gotta
like we
me,
just gotta
me and
spread
you.
the
We gotta
word to our
do
brothers and
like
sisters that
Yeah, dude. Look, like I told you,
you're
I
valuable.
have different things in there. What's that?
Oh, I was just saying, like,
I think there's a
you know,
delay.
me, you, everybody else is our job is to spread the word that you are valuable as an individual, that you matter, and that you are fucking cool. Like, just believe in yourself that you matter, and know that we actually like see you, and you are a life, and you are a soul, and you matter. Which is hard, getting people to agree with that. There's always gonna be racist pricks. There's always gonna be fucking homophobes. There's always gonna be somebody out there
Hold on,
that
I help real quick, bro. I want to check the rate of this delay. Is we got a delay. I just want to check the rate of it. Just say
heard
one
heard
when I say one. One.
one.
It's about a 2.5, 3 second delay. I just needed
Okay,
to
I
check
wonder how
that.
that happened because my screen changed a little bit.
No,
Something
it's
happened
a
on
delay. It's the technology. I think it could be my connection. I don't. It's a
heard.
delay. It's just a connection thing. Because when you're talking, you'll pause and I'll think that you're done and I'll jump right in and then you'll keep going and I ain't trying to cut you off.
Heard.
So that's why I got
No,
it.
I totally talk in an
It's about a three
unorthodox
second delay.
way.
So I know.
But
So
yeah,
do I.
no,
And that's exactly why I'm like, let me give you. I know to give you 3 seconds when you're done talking to know if you're done or not. I just had to
that's
check
so
that.
funny. Next episode, we just gotta be in the same room. But
No, I
uh
like this. Oh, yeah, we could too. We could absolutely because it's a studio we could go to where we could put two mics and everything, so we could do that. But because what
yeah,
I was
yeah.
going to say is, if we do that, we should do that. We should do that. Just based off of what you were saying, like spiritually, we all got to come together and know. Because I do a lot of different. I've been trying. I have a lot. I got the come smoke with me. I got the 10 foil. I was doing the 10 foil Tuesdays and all type of things. I'm trying different things, but we definitely could do one on that, just a deeper spiritual level of humanity. Because I feel like as humans, we're dualistic creatures. We exist both in a physical plane and in the spiritual plane, and all
Mm-hmm.
we pay attention to is the physical. And so when it comes to the spiritual, we're absolutely starved and dehydrated. And because of that, we go through hardships in our life that we don't have to go through if we weren't so starved and dehydrated spiritually. But because we know nothing about that, we remain starved and dehydrated, and we try to make our lives better purely off of 50% of the creature that we are, which is a physical one.
Right, and it's like you
And so
see
like
you see
I
addictions
do a lot
happen
of
to
research
people.
into that, and it sounds like you yourself definitely.
Yeah, and I don't know, you see people who become like addicted to shit who are spiritually broken, like you actually see a a a broken or a severed or a weak spiritual, you know, depth to a person. You can see that manifest physically into their life. Um and like to people like me and you who are pretty in tune, you can see it, you can read it off of people. And you don't need to be like at the level that me and you are, like per se, to like read somebody's spiritual vibe, to just be able to tell. Broken people are starved of spirits. They're starved of that connection to the greatness that is everything. I don't
Yeah,
know.
my understanding of it is like this. I look at it this way. I look at it like when you when you we how you say we're spiritually starved, right? Now physically, when you eat a meal, say you can have the best meal you've ever had in your life. A steak and lobster with shrimp trio, and they got all the fucking everything that you want, and it's delicious. You eat your fill. Ah, 6 hours later, you're gonna be hungry again. You're gonna gonna have to refuel. And it's it's and you know you're going week and week physically. So sure that it's been so long, my body's feel let me reimburse my energy physically. Now spiritually, the way we feed ourselves spiritually would be, for example, let's just say you walk up on a homeless family. It's a guy there with his woman. They're homeless. They got kids and everything, and it moves your heart to say, look, I could just give you, $10 or $20, but how about I do this for you? How about I set you up, you and your family up with a hotel for the weekend, a motel for the weekend or whatever. So you guys can I'll give you some money for food and everything. And you just have that gesture on your heart to do that. Right. And so you just do that. You get them a motel for the thing. And it's an extreme example, but just follow me. And so you do
Yeah.
that. And then, and if you know what, let's make it less extreme. Let's just say you just give the dude $100. Like, here's $100. You up, and then you think nothing of it. You go on about your day. 6 months later, you encounter the same dude. You're not with his family. It's just him, and he's walking and he got a business suit on, and he's like, "Look, man, when you gave me that $100, I was able to get a motel, take a shower, put some kind of clean clothes on and go do an interview. I went to an interview, got hired for a job, got hired for that job, and I moved up real fast and I got promoted to like I'm the assistant manager at this place, moved my family into a 2-bedroom and everything like that. When you initially gave him the $100, it made you feel good about it. And when he tells you all that, it makes you feel great about the fact that just a small little $100 investment changed the dude's entire life for him and his family. That's generations moving on to the future. So that's you got a spiritual meal. It was like a spiritual snack when you gave him 100. When he comes back and tells you what happens, it's like a spiritual 5-course meal, right? And then now you go or you'll say, oh, you go 5 years from that moment, him telling you all that. 5 years from that moment, nothing changes about your life, but you think about the fact that that happened. You could be going through a bad situation for yourself, but you think about the fact that you did that, it'll make you feel good all over again,
Hmm.
spiritually, and you'll digest that feeling. There is no meal that you could eat physically. There is no burger, steak, or lobster that you could eat and then think about it 8 hours later and be full all over again. You're still going to be hungry. You're still going to have to refeed yourself. So, but that's what we focus on every day is the physical, feeding ourselves physically. But if we fed ourselves spiritually, those meals carry us so much further in life. There's so much more nutritious for our life than just a physical meal, but we think 99% physical and 1% spiritual. And I feel like that's what's wrong with the world. We need more focus on the other aspect of what we are. And perhaps we would grow more as people, as humans. What you think about that?
I think that's absolutely spot on, bro. And that's how they've maintained control all this time. They being the top 0.001 percenters, that actually the billionaires, they actually move the world. Um, we've deforested just about everything that matters. We've filled every city we can with concrete fucking parking lots and roads, and we've cut down like the biggest trees, and we've defaced Mount Rushmore. If you know the history of it, is just such a evil thing to have occurred.
Yeah.
They've systematically taken away our ability to escape the economy, if that makes sense. Like the side
I
of the
call
world
it
we
the
have to
matrix.
live in every fucking day. Yeah. The matrix where we live every single day, they've the easiest way we could break away from that is to go into nature. And the nature's going away and it's going away fast. The next thing would be to, afford to like have a car and to like go see the nature because it's going further away and that's even getting harder. And I don't know. Then they started developing fucking technology, bro. And then they started figuring out, oh, these certain frequencies just keep people a little bit on edge all the time. Let's make every fucking Wi-Fi router in the world do that frequency. Oh, you can also track movement with that frequency. You can also tap in everything that they could exploit about the human mind has been exploited. We see this in just capitalism and marketing, every single exploit a marketer can get to fire your brain, they're going to. And they
Yeah.
just want your dollar, bro. They don't want your vote and they don't want you to believe a certain way. They don't have that deep motive. But if the most successful people in the fucking world, the people who are commanding the construction of the most modern equipment, like militarily, that we can't even comprehend, these people, why would they not exploit that? Why would they not easily exploit that through a psyop, which we need to remind people that we're living every single day? But it's not just one psyop, bro. Everything is a fucking psyop. Every little thing, bro. They've covered their asses the entire way, and they've been doing so for 1,000 years. In the modern world with modern technology, it's closer to like 200, 250 years. People have been just ahead of the general public. We've been experts on ourselves for as long as we've been here. There's been great thinkers forever. And a lot of these concepts on people, the understandings that you and I have, the understandings ultimately of like the psychology of people that rulers have, that hasn't really shifted. All we've figured out is how to exploit it a little bit more. But the general understanding of how people behave and why, we've known this since we've been sentient. So I don't know, it's a sick thing, but that point that we've known it since we've been sentient, as long as human beings have existed and said hello, ¿cómo estás? Everywhere around the world, we've understood that, like, I don't know, we have the power ultimately, and by feeding us fucking slop and getting us addicted to our phones, to cigarettes, all these things, making us live inside wooden structures encased in concrete that you can't feel any earth resonance. They've put Wi-Fi in every house. They've got 5G, they've got satellites, all this shit, radio, all these rays of energy going through us. Every single one of it has been kind of like optimalized to keep people on edge. And it works really well, but some people are just strong. Some people are just strong. Some minds cannot be tamed and some spirits cannot be stepped on, and those people are going to become the pillars again that we need. We just got to figure out how to get everybody on board with this without it being shut down on the internet and monitored. And how do we like stay safe? How do we bring back word of the mouth like the 90s? How do we do that? I think that's the only issue that we got to figure out right now. And then I think that we could like actually make this global.
I think you brought it back full circle to what I was saying is why this is where it's at right now. Like the celebrities, all of what you were saying, why the society is the way it is, how they're able to manipulate people and everything like that. It was all because celebrities they were able to manipulate celebrities into manipulating the masses. Like there's like 1% of celebrities, maybe less than 1% of celebrities that actually did what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. The rest did what they told, according to the narrative that needed to be pushed. And so now that that's dying out, is the rise of just the regular average Joe on YouTube
Do
or
you think that's why
Twitch
they're pushing
or
AI
whatever.
so hard to muddy out the waters of the
Yes,
average Joe?
yes, yes. and I feel like if I feel like we should embrace AI, but not as the end all be all to all things. Because I feel like there's people who their brain doesn't work anymore because AI does everything for them. And I feel like that's the agenda that we should be going away from. And we should it's either AI or natural humans. I feel like that's what the war is. I
I
feel
think
like
it
if you
could
look at it
coexist. We just
in a
need
religion,
to find the
if
energy source. Sorry, I'm gonna let you keep going.
what do you mean energy source? No, no, no.
If we
No,
could,
I like
if we
the that's how I like my conversations to be symbiotic. Like,
heard that, yeah, if we could figure out
go ahead.
the the most reasonable way to power AI, like if we could really figure out how to really work solar, or if we could figure out how to make better generators through like water, like back home in Washington State. I forget the name of the dam on the Columbia River. There's a couple dams up there, but the power coming off of this dam powers the whole state for like a year. All the other power that we have coming is excess that we can like use to like make things, right? We can always better the technology to like harness energy. There is always resistance, and we can always figure out how to minimize that resistance. But also, there's ethical nuclear power. And I don't know if you've heard about, I forget whose idea it is. There's like a concept of like three stages of civilizations. And you become a stage one civilization when you are able to harness the energy of your sun. And I feel like we are on the brink of that. But if we're going to really dive deep and take the
You said
chance
what
on
stage
AI,
three is
they are able
stage
to
three the
harness the
least
power
intelligent,
of their.
stage one the most?
No, stage one is like the first breakthrough civilization, and stage three is a fully maximized civilization. So
Okay.
stage one
Because
can harness the
I've heard of
power,
the stages. I've heard of that.
yeah, of their
I don't
sun.
remember how the number, you know.
um a stage two, I believe, is something along the lines of like can travel to other stars and whatnot. And a stage three civilization can harness the power of the entire galaxy that it resides in, and it can basically like it's spread everywhere and whatnot. But I think AI will take us to a
All
proper
right.
stage one
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
civilization, as long as we can like responsibly power it. We don't need to sacrifice the landscape and the livelihood of millions of people. They're trying to build them everywhere, and there's no means to be supporting these things. They're trying to build one back in Spokane, my home city now, and these data centers are fucking massive. And I mean, what they do. We all are aware of what they're doing. Um, but it
Y- That's
their goal to supersede our quality of life, to accelerate humanity's transition, is it's really yucky, bro. And it's the decision of the billionaires and the elite class, because they realistically might have the opportunity to see these developments happen in their child's lifetime, their grandchild's lifetime. Like, we're that close. And as long as they can fucking afford to keep themselves and their family safe and on track, they're gonna push it. They fully disregard us. But that's where we outnumber them, and we really need to, like, again, it just keeps coming back full circle, bro. We need to have these conversations, um, and raise our combined frequency. Because what happens if we all interlink, and like that's how they built the pyramids, bro? What if they built the pyramids? What if it wasn't aliens? What if it wasn't necessarily like a sound frequency? What if it was a resonant frequency of everybody being in tune? What if it was a spiritual process where everybody got on the same wavelength, um, and had power? There's so much mystery, and all of this talk has been stigmatized for whatever reason, and I think that's the reason. I think it's because it holds weight. Back to you, bro.
That's
What do you
we
think?
gotta. Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like that whole and when you say the data centers and everything like that, and how they take power and everything like that, I got a video that kind of shows or a dude claiming that it's not the centers aren't what they say they are. It's a whole little thing. I want to show that, but I agree with the fact that as people we all are supposed to be we are all supposed to have the same resonance. Like we're all supposed to be on the same vibratory scale and level and everything like that. And I just think that they put a lot of stuff out there to make sure that that doesn't happen. I feel like Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, anything to where there's a divide, the divide is only there to keep people from resonating with what we as humans all collectively agree on. Like I feel like there's things that we all collectively agree on, no matter what your thing is, but they take the focus off of that and they bombard us with so much shit that we can disagree on. That's the frequency that we're on.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we gotta stop looking at our differences and start embracing
My name is Doug
our
Seavey. I live at
similarities first.
3392 64th
My
Street.
name is Stephen. We got to start embracing our similarities first and starting from there, because when you look at the people in your own family, that's how you deal with people in your family. Like the what you have in common comes first. So if you got brothers and sisters and you can't stand your brothers and sisters, what comes before that is the fact that y'all got
No.
the same
The,
parents. So at the end of the day, no matter how much you hate your siblings, you'll only go so far. Like, and at the end of the day, you'll always be looking for the benefit of your siblings, even if you don't like them. The thing that comes before the dislike is, okay, we share the same parents, so I can't live with myself if I actually mean harm to my siblings. If as humanity we looked at it like that, we all share the same life under the same sun. Like, not like when I say the same life, I mean like without the sun, none of us will have life. So we're
yeah.
all extracting our life from the same exact source. So under the same source, if we could just look at that as the same way that we would look at our parents being the unifying factor between us and our siblings, if we look at that as being a unifying factor between us as humanity, we would deal with each other different. Because you'll never look at your brother and be like, fuck you, you could die in order for me to benefit. You'll never be like, we got one loaf of bread and we're both starving, so this whole loaf is for me. You're always going to be like, look, I'll get half and you get half because it's your
Yeah.
brother. So if we looked at humanity like that, we'd be so much further.
Like it literally comes back down to the saying that we all bleed blood. Our blood all looks the same. We are literally like people look so fucking different and like I think that I don't know about how we got here originally. Humans are very weird creatures for Earth, but we've been here long enough to have evolved to look different ways. There's black people, there's Asian people, there's white people, there's Mexican people, there's Eastern European people, there's Spanish people, Italians. Like we all like we've been here for so fucking long that we started to look different, bro. We started adapting to our environments. And at the end of the
Right.
day, we can still fucking communicate in the same language and we can both feel that same specialness, that is that energy, that connective energy. You can have these experiences with anybody. And God, I don't know that how do we celebrate it, bro? We're gonna figure this out. One of these episodes, we're gonna figure out how to actually fucking sell
Yeah,
it to people, how to break through.
we gonna have a yeah, we gonna have a specific series for that for sure. But we had a comment over here in the comment section from Queen D. She says, if you believe in God, you have to know there's a devil, and the devil was sent for destruction and to destroy. And the system is the devil and his minions total control to get you. And then it says further away for that spiritual connection being spoken about. She put, but technology also destroys the earth. Look at those plants. They have been draining the world resources for their data plants. She put, spiritual and technology will never mix. Technology draws you away from God. You begin to worship on God and the mysteries of so. So this what she put right here. She put we see what the earth is doing to the plants and how they're draining the world resources for their data plants. So I'm gonna play this video. I think it's about two and a half, maybe 3 minutes long. But this guy, he's talking about he's a scientist. He's some form of scientist, and he's saying that they're lying to us about the data centers needing water and using up water and resources in order to run the data centers. He's saying that that's not the case. They don't need that. They're just draining the water and blaming it on the data centers so that they could say, well, if we stop draining the water, you guys won't get all the luxuries of the internet that you want. So that people look at it like, well, I do kind of still, so maybe there's a reason and blah blah blah. But he's saying like they are just draining shit. Like the data centers has nothing to do with it. Don't let them use that as an excuse. So I'm gonna let them take it
Yeah,
from
bro.
here.
We have to consent to the
Iowa.
manipulation.
I've called the mayor and suggested that I get put on some kind of a committee because I'm Palo's resident expert. I build data centers. I own data centers. I built the first private data center in the state of Iowa, and everything that Google is telling you is BS. I have a data center right now that's running in Hiawatha, and I have been there 14 years and have never used 1 gallon of water. What Google isn't telling you is they don't want to use the technology because it costs more. They're going to burn through the water, and when it's done, and they don't care. Then they'll put the money in. And so I can guarantee you, if you guys want to start a committee, I'll volunteer because I'm the expert. I build them. I'm working on one right now. I'm working on one in Milwaukee. I live here, and I told you on the phone, I called you and talked to you, and I said, you should really let me help you. I never heard anything back. And I warned you, I said, my well goes dry. I'm coming after you because I know what's going on. And you can't do this. You guys have to say no water. They don't have to have it. I mean, to give you an idea, you people, how many people in here have heard of Unity Point Health? Okay? All right? I have 100% of their IT in my data center, and I've never used a gallon of water. And I'm the most efficient data center in the world. So this is all crap, and you guys don't want to listen. In fact, I called you and said, maybe we should talk. Never heard back from you. So if you guys want to put a committee together, you can call me. I'll tell you the truth, and I can explain everything to you how this works, because they're lying to you. Big time. There's absolutely no reason to use a gallon of water. And the same thing on the efficiency of the electricity. They're doing the cheapest way they can. All they want to do is get the gravy, and when it turns to shit, they're gone. Google is not our friend. So anybody wants to talk to me, I'll sit over here afterwards, and I'll explain it to you. So if you would like, I would be more than happy to be on your committee to work on this, because I am the expert. I build them. I know. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug.
Wow. Makes me want to clap.
Yeah, right. Those are the type of people that I want to be in the same community with.
For
Motherfuckers
real.
that know what they talking about and actively want to do what needs to be done to get shit done, to make shit stop, to make the foul shit stop and make to bring prosperity in to these communities. I fucks with that. And it always seems to be motherfuckers that's 50 plus that's ready for that. People in their early 20s all the way up to like they mid 40s still want to live life and have fun, and then they get to their 50s like, man, this is some bullshit. It's like, look, man, we need the youth to realize this is some bullshit first, and then we can all collectively do something about it. We just wait until we get too old to care to do something about it. That's how they've been getting us.
Wow, bro. Yeah, I just need to sit on that for a second, honestly.
Which part? The what he said or what I said?
Kind of the whole thing in combination, and all, as well as the comment that Queen D had about how they're trying to make the internet and this option of AI so tempting that we choose it over God, over life, over the spirit, over the soul, whatever you want to call it, whatever that connection is. Um, they're trying to sell a sweet deal, and we're buying it, bro.
Yeah. Well, I ain't bought it. I ain't bought into it. I ain't even buying Facebook, so they ain't got me. So like I feel like when you the deeper you get into the enjoyment of life and like because it's you get sucked into subscriptions, you get sucked into like certain job perks to where it's like, okay, I gotta fuck over a few people really bad, but like I get paid a whole lot to do it. It's like they take people away from what they actually ultimately want, and they just put them in their own individual, like, look, just it's you against the world. Think about yourself. And like just if you gotta fuck a few hundred people over, a few thousand people over, just for you and your family to prosper, come on, that's what makes sense. And I think they just got people on that program until they get old enough to realize that shit ain't it. Like it fucking people over here when I'm young translate to now me being older and I am fucked by the
Hmm.
by the young people who were me when I was that age.
It's a ruthless system. They perfected their craft.
Yeah, yeah, they
It's
did.
like,
That's why at a certain point you kind of got to tip your hat. You kind of just at a
right?
certain point you got to be like, okay, what whoever came up with this scheme, they really thought it all the way out and all the way through. I can't even be mad. I gotta kind of just be like, well, fuck. And I'm not on some if you can't beat them, join them shit. But if you
No, no, no,
can't
no.
beat,
It's
take a second to like admire the strategy and then take from it what you can to work it for your benefit on your side. But like, just take a minute to be like, okay, that's some good shit. Okay, now let me figure out how to use that against you.
right. I feel like people are low key held back by the ego, and again, this comes back to spiritual health, but the ego hates being wrong, right? And so, like, what is one of the hardest ego strokes? It's accepting that your entire reality, everything that you've lived and participated in, is fabricated and fake.
Yes,
You know
a hundred
how big of a
percent.
pill that is to swallow?
Cognitive
Like, the whole
dissonance.
thing
Yes,
is a play. The entire thing is a show. And like, bro, I've broken down into tears over that
Truman
before,
Show.
like you got to sit there and feel that and think it. That's the only way that you can
You seen the Truman
coexist,
Show, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's like that. Either you're gonna react like Truman, or you're gonna have the opposite reaction and be like, no, 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 no. This isn't fake. That's really my wife. She really loves me. She's really my best friend. Like, no, 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 I'm tripping. Like either you're gonna do that
Yeah,
or you're gonna be like Truman and be like, damn, is this shit all a stage for real? And then when you start putting the pieces together and you realize it is, cognitive dissonance does not have an effect on you.
truly.
You just keep digging deeper and deeper to what the truth is.
We
Give me one
gotta
second. I'm about to look up
destigmatize.
this
Yeah,
call. One sec. Yo,
yeah. Shout out to Queen D checking us out. I can't see viewers, but that's cool. You on the right page for real. Oh, it's fun to be here. How was I gonna say that? They've really stigmatized free thinkers and like people who question things. I feel like the tides are finally turning and people are starting to like openly question things, but man, it's interesting. It'll take some years to get everybody on the same track. It's like, do we have that much, like how much time is left for us to actually unite and do something versus how much time is left for them to have full utter control, to where if we ever do decide to actually rebel and to do something, that they just press the convenience buttons and they all go down into their little bunkers and they hide and we all just fucking die.
yeah. I just don't believe in it. I believe in I live my life in the context of video games, right? Because I play
Okay.
video games my whole, and then I view it in the context of a movie. I live it in the context of a video game. I view it in the context of a movie. So, however you can make that make sense to you, that's just how I go about it. And
No,
so,
I hear
I
that. I hear that.
always, I always see the like, at the end of the day, this no matter how bad it gets, the movie, the show, the game, it always turns out with the hero doing what needs to be done and everything making sense. Like all the items and things that you lost along the way, you make it back tenfold and all types of shit. So I don't get discouraged with how life is. I just try to figure out what's the next thing to get us closer to the ultimate victory. Because in my mind, it's the only way it could play out is what us get the side of good. If you truly have righteousness in your heart, it can only play out to where like you get the final scene is righteousness prevails. So everything leading up to that final scene is just like it's part of the movie. All the hardships, the poverty, the breakups, the heartbreaks, all this type of shit. It's just a part of the movie. It's a part of the game. So it's like I played God of War before with Kratos and everything, and I got to the part of the game where it's like, man, it's cheating. It's impossible. You can't beat this. I lost all my shit, my moves and all that. And then you just get past it. And then you just get to the better part of the game. So I just live my life in that context. I just think a lot of people, because I do honestly believe we're living in a matrix that because when you get into the quantum physics, they start to break down
Yeah.
how it's like it's a 99.9% chance we're living in a simulation. And then you start getting
Yeah.
into how all of matter is actually just energy vibrating and it is no actual solid matter when you zoom into the quantum level. So to me, it just all breaks down to like this is really just a cosmic video game to where if there's a such thing as an immortal being, an immortal entity, then how could it have fun other than to go through some shit like this and to feel if you're immortal, if you can't be hurt, if you can't die, how else can you have fun but to forget that and to go through
The only thing
existence
that makes
thinking
me
that you can.
question like being controlled on the individual level is the tragedy that is people's personal lives. Because like if you want entertainment, like sure, there's definitely some people out here that are living like a controlled video game character in many different ways,
Uh-huh.
you know, many different genres. But there are some people that just have the worst shit
Yeah,
always happening. And it's like
absolutely.
that person, no way somebody's controlling that. You know, like that might be karma, that might be something from that might be a deeper thing on its own, but I don't think that that is necessarily
I
somebody
I
being
think it
controlled, and
is.
that gives me a little bit of belief. Really? Okay, tell me why.
I think it is. Are you? But before, are you agnostic? Are you? Are
I
you?
believe in
Or
God.
what?
I believe in God. I believe in the devil. I believe that there is good and there is evil. And I don't believe that any religion has quite figured it out, but I think that if everybody's thinking about the same thing and like addressing
Oh, you
common
have to be. That's fine. Can I come in?
like addressing common connection to like a higher power through religion, they're probably onto something. Wait till he
Hold
gets
up. Well,
back.
what's that? Okay.
It's all good. I was just talking to the
Boy,
people.
all right. My boy Jay just got here. It's I don't know if you met
Hey,
him or not. It's another one of our neighbors. Yes,
hey,
sir.
what up, Jay?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think your cam's on.
It is, but let me add us to the stage so we can see each other.
Hey,
Up in there?
hey,
Yeah,
what up? What up?
Okay.
a little bit.
That's the new upstairs.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Jay, what up?
What's up, bro? I met him. We supposed to link up and blow one, my boy.
But now we doing it, so I'll be his place filler or whatever.
Yes,
Bro, I
sir.
haven't
But
hung out
You
with
live as we
anybody
talk?
in like a
yeah,
month, bro.
right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, like
I'm
we
still
we all
game.
gonna have to have like apartment fucking
We
meetup live stream.
live.
Everybody streaming from their own personal shit, and we just
Yeah,
have
yeah,
different
yeah,
parties. You can play. I know what your type of music. Maybe techno. You play techno in your spot. I'll play some some new school hip hop in mine. He gonna have some old school hip hop.
yeah. I'll
Tad
take the
gonna have
techno
some old
vibes.
school rock and roll.
I listen to core, actually. Yeah. Hardcore.
Tad, then you
Corn
gonna be in
fire, all
Tad's
right.
apartment. He gonna be playing Slipknot and
Slipknot.
the Doors.
So some
Tad be
5 finger death
jamming out
punch.
to the Doors.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I fuck with all music, all sorts
Yeah,
of
there you
music,
go.
man.
What I'm saying, we just go from apartment to
What,
apartment.
what's your thoughts on
Yeah,
Shabuzi?
Yeah, man.
I don't even know who Shabuzi
You
is.
know
You
what?
know Shabuzi?
That's the third time I've heard that shit, bro. What
Okay,
is
What
Shaboozey?
is
Shabuzi
Shabuzi?
Shabuzi is like
Never
one
heard
of
that.
the I can't say the first, and honestly I don't really know much history about just black
Spell
country music.
Shabuzi. Spell it.
That's just how it's spelled.
Shaboozy.
It's like a sound, bro.
Okay.
Shabuzi. Shabuzi. So you remember
Just like how it
the
sounds.
song
All right.
Tipsy?
Shabuzi.
Yeah, remember the like now everybody in the gut in this bitch getting tipsy. I forget who that was.
Yeah.
Um he redid Tipsy into
Jaquan,
a
I think
country
that was
song.
Jaquan, right?
Yeah,
Everybody in the
yeah.
club gets tipsy. Jaquan.
No, that was
Everybody's
everybody in
getting
Club
tipsy.
gets tipsy. That was Jaquan.
So he redid that as a
that was
country song
Chinky.
called A Bar Song. And he's got
No,
like
that
another one
wasn't
called like Good
Chingy.
News.
Everybody in the
Club gets tipsy. That was Jake.
That wasn't
No, Jay
Chingy.
Hood. No, Jaquan.
Nah, it was
That
never
wasn't Chingy, bro.
I'm
Let me
gonna
see
Google it
who's
right now.
who's put two
Everybody in
bids.
the club get tipsy.
Let me see. Hold up.
But
I'll look
anyway,
it up right.
Like I listen
Nah,
to
yeah.
literally everything,
Go ahead.
country music, the sorts, bro. You name it, I'll listen to it. There's probably an artist I know in the genre you're talking about. So I fuck with all of it. I get down. Including like EDM too. I'm familiar with that shit.
Same, bro.
You guys ever
I
been to
low
a
key
rave?
just had my station when I jumped out the whip. I'm on Skrillex.
Never been to a rave. Will most likely never be to a rave. I'm not
Shit,
going there
man.
to meet her.
Yeah, it was Jake One.
She'd have to be the one to bring me there.
No, yeah,
And
don't meet a girl at a rave, but if
then
a
I'd be like,
little baddie takes you to a
yeah, I
rave,
went to a
definitely
rave.
go.
And you know why I went there.
I think your connection's getting a little spotty.
It was Jaquan.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's like, well, you're gonna have to do a top 5 one-hit wonders of all time.
No way.
It's a
Would you ask him?
Oh, have you been to Coachella?
No, I haven't been to Coachella.
Uh,
I've only lived here
Coachella?
in California for 6 months.
You said no. No
Oh man, the connection's
way.
pretty bad. I'm not hearing you very well.
I think he is responding.
You gotta be.
Max, if you got something else running on your Wi-Fi and you could turn it off, it might help.
I go and just smuggle in every 100,000 pills. Go. Yeah,
Oh,
man,
so
I'm out there. I meet
he was out there
I'll
after
be cool. Hey, how's it going?
you was the designated pharmaceutical rep.
So you
Yeah.
up a year.
Yeah, that makes sense, motherfucker.
Australia. You're from Australia? So yeah, grams are 150.
Oh man.
They're like, oh yeah, give me 10 of them. Swear, bro.
I believe it, bro.
Yes.
I believe it. I never even considered that because I used to sell weed. I never considered
everything's
all the drugs you can sell at one Coachella event.
one 20 stack is $100 at Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
I feel
get
like
it,
I'd
you know?
want to go to Coachella, but
Same like
with
their
the
pizza
pricing
slices
of
is
everything
$15
nowadays,
a slice.
nah, I'm good. How bad is the delay now? Is it still like 3 seconds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
it's always low key.
I don't
Like a
know. Let me
minute
see. You
ago?
have to say one. One.
One.
Tell you what,
I said a minute ago to you. Say one when I say one. One.
One.
You still there, Will?
is
We
that
did.
right?
Yeah, we did the check earlier. It was like a 3-second
Like,
delay.
check.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
All right,
Yeah.
say one, then you say one.
One.
You hear him say it at the same time, right after.
One.
One.
We got a permanent delay.
Bro need to just come on down here and join the site.
Come on down to the apartment and
Jump on our camera.
come blow with us.
We about to light this
We
up.
got
You bet.
the
I'll pull up
infinity
smoke
delay.
right now. Hold up. Let me text you back real
Yeah,
quick.
you should. Might as well, man.
Hurry up.
Why
I'm
would
like,
we just one camera?
What number are you? What apartment number are you?
Yeah, you know where we at. Yeah, you on your phone, you might just go through, be knocking at the door. They gonna hear the knock on your end and the knock on mine. I'm like, we good.
I'm pulling up. I'm bringing a joint.
bringing the blanket.
My eyes get red when I smoke, just so you know. Don't judge me.
You're right.
It is. Your background.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
Yeah,
oh, really?
you're right. You're right.
Green
You know,
blanket.
I'm just half-assing it because I'm still trying. Like, what I'm really supposed to be doing right now is going through all of these to see how I can incorporate shit like this into the thing, and then
Both sides.
yeah, like, and that's what I'm really doing on it. Yeah, exactly. Bro.
Right.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I just be getting so into what we be talking about, I be forgetting to do the little learning process part of it.
That's because you know why? You the boss. You're gonna have somebody doing that for you.
That's what I want to get to, so I could just focus on what I want to focus on, and then the nigga that actually likes to do this is gonna do it and be on point with it. I gotta try to be on point with it while also still trying to anchor it down low and shit. Yeah. So
John DeMarco.
yeah, exactly.
What is it? Is this that guy?
Well, yeah.
He creepy, bro. You look like you coming. Watch out. That boy got some nice twin. Twin, what's up, twin?
Yeah, moving kind of slow in the shadows right here on screen.
Out of this wine.
I keep telling this nigga, bro.
He told me too.
And look, ask him how many times it happened since I told you that. Every day, bro.
I'm pulling up, fool. I'm gonna leave this right now.
Oh, yeah. And like, I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer, like in the events and things happening for a reason. You understand me? Like I keep.
So we're gonna back this up.
It's like I keep telling him, like, bro, it's for a week. We need to figure it out.
Yeah,
Like
I'm the same way.
we never sat down and actually.
I'm the same way. I'm like, look, man, I believe in the whole. Yeah, chill out, man. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I had okay.
I've never smoked a split from 24. Oh, there you go. It's a great occasion. Yeah, your first flip, your first time on the screen. Yeah, it's a big night for it. Now my eyes get red, bro. Like I'm talking red as the devil.
I can get high, bro, but my shit be getting red.
So we know it's official.
All right, so since you up here on the thing, I'm gonna take you off.
Oh yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. Now we just chilling, and anybody listening is just in on our smoke session.
You know what, bro? I gotta I'm gonna look through my shit real quick because I low key found a streaming camera, and I want you to USB it, and it sits on the top of your computer. It's just a little clip. Man.
Yeah, I'm down, bro. If you got
Big
equipment, look,
to my
I
shit.
told you, bro. I mean, I don't think I told you. I'll be telling people. I'm trying to put together a team. I'm not trying to do this all by myself. I'm trying to put together a team, like a network. Yeah, a network. And I'm not trying to just have it be just my podcast. I'm trying to have the people that I work with have their own shit. Yeah, and we just coordinate.
And we come together.
Look, I do mine from 3 to 4. So if you got yours from like 2 to 3 or from 4 to 5, so yeah, exactly. So I could like right when mine ends, I could be like, now go over to Will. He doing his shit, you know. So I can segue to where it's like it's more like the more hours you have viewers on here. Like if I did 2 hours and get engagement for 2 hours, that's 2 hours worth of engagement, and you get like certain type of. But now, if you got 2 hours too, that's 4 hours of engagement collectively for us. Instead of just 2 for me and 2 for you.
Yeah.
So
hate him or not, like Jake Paul, bro, his fucking he had that house, the Team 10, bro.
That guy was
Stupid as it is. All of them were creators. All of them were
Yeah, don't hate him at all. You gotta respect that guy. That nigga ran it up, became a real boxer. Got his jaw broke. Now he quit.
You can do it on your own, but
yes.
To
acting, you can.
Logan's on WWE.
Really, it's just why would you? You have to be a Michael Jackson or Tupac. Like you have to have apex level talent to actually do it on your own. And then people just be like, I want to
connections are.
But other than that, you just your average Joe, man. You
It's
can
good
get to
stuff,
that
yeah.
status if you get more just people to work together.
I feel like you can get yourself to that if you like focus on your imagination, you know, being like if you can bring back a lot of creativity
Oh yeah.
into yourself and like just open your mind up to exploring like perfecting like camera angles or like
100%.
Absolutely.
filters and like whatever like post processing
100%.
on video or like all these little things you don't think about and you're like fuck I can't do that shit. It's like yeah I can't but I could, you know, it's gonna take some
Another-
time.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Did you do a key phrase yet for your intro? Like when you start your show off?
A what?
Like a key phrase, you know, you come in, hey, welcome to
No.
we're back in another episode. Y'all know
None of that.
ding, you gotta
I don't
write
got
that
none.
up.
I know I do, but my whole thing is I'm just trying to get the camp around me the right way, the people fucking with me the right way, because I feel like all that could come in a day. Little catchphrase, oh, it's Leisure World Live, Max Leisure, keep it leisure,
I like
you know,
that.
all that type of shit. Like
Leisure
all that
World
shit could come in a
Live,
day. It
that's
could
the
come
thing.
as time goes, right?
Yeah, there's definitely no time limit at all,
Yeah.
you know.
But I'm more focused on just getting the right people around me that bring out the type of energy that I want brought out of me so I can bring out the energy from them. And then like we can have real world interactions with real people. That's what I like. I like because you know you'll go online and you'll see like the people that are talking to the bimbo women. You'll be like, what do you want from a guy? He needs to make $7,000 a second and blah blah blah. And it's like real people don't talk like that. Like it's entertaining, but like let's have some real conversation.
No, really, when you're walking with a crew, like we know what that's like, you know, you've had that like peak crew.
Of course.
You're rolling with the boys and it's like our energy's unstoppable. Any of us can do anything right now because all my boys are here, you know, like our powers combined.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro.
It comes together.
But you can have
makeup.
like that can be your boys, but you can have that same kind of energy with your crew, you know what I mean? Get shit done.
Yeah, you have to have that, I think, man. If you got everybody in the cipher has to be putting in some type of work, doing something. And speaking of that, bro, literally that's where I was at today. I was at a podcast convention today, bro.
Mhm.
My sister just launched, bro, look at this. My sister launched she did like oh shit, my shit, God.
Oh, let me get that. I
He
think
did
that
a whole
think he got that
shit.
to you.
Yeah, he did.
Keep me in the loop.
Yeah, it's
I mean, well,
first timer.
You got the old school charger?
Oh, iPhone. I don't got iPhone.
Everybody is.
You know, I don't got. You already got on me about not being team iPhone. You already. I told you I get locked into the iPhone. That's this ultra matrix to me. Like, no, I want to be able to download apps from whoever made it, not just Apple.
Yeah. You can't do that. You can't do that on iPhones.
Yeah, you just gotta store it in your bookmark.
Yeah, you run some shit. You can sideload things. That's what they call it, and you can like have different developer profiles on your phone.
Yeah, you can
You
black
can
it
only
out.
have a certain amount
I
of them
did
unless
too.
you pay monthly.
Facts. You
All of that extra shit.
You can
All
really have
everything
a
he
whole
said
different
is extra
line,
Apple
different
shit.
eSIM on here, like
Yeah.
two different SIM at the same, and click like a button to go back and forth from
Phonos.
straight up like that.
Yeah.
Actually, bro,
The Steve
if you
Jobs
find
is just as
if you
good
happen
as
to have a
Bill
old
Gates to me. They're the same
iPhone,
person.
if you happen to have an old iPhone, bro, you can go to your settings, look for cellular,
Yeah.
and then add one right then and there with no
Really?
contract, bro, and pay like $5 a day or something.
Interesting. Yeah, my phone's unlocked. I got a 12 Pro,
That's the same one I got, bro.
and I'm like, dude, it's
Well,
still,
you got the Pro. I don't got
Yeah.
the Pro.
dude, it's fine. I put a new screen on this
it's fine.
bitch. I broke it. I'm gonna get another genuine Apple screen and put a new battery in it too. But it's fast. The camera's fire.
I'm team
New
Android.
ones
Bro,
with
you
me,
gotta
that's
come
fucking
over
awesome.
here,
Team
man.
Android 17 and 16.
See, once you come here, you can always go back to Android.
I'm team Android 17 and 16. One day they're gonna evolve into Cell and we gonna beat Goku. He gonna have to call
We're gonna
Gohan.
get iPhone 9,000.
Apple's gonna have to get
the thing-
Gohan to do
Android
something.
is gonna morph into iPhone. You see, they're already doing it. I can read your messages, you can read mine and shit.
It's a war.
Yeah,
And
it's a war.
somebody's gonna
It's a
die.
PlayStation Xbox war. That's what
Somebody's gonna die, and Apple is Frieza been dominating the universe.
He has, bro.
Apple's just classic.
He has.
But Android is Goku. You don't know nothing.
It's nothing else no more. To be honest, Android is only around because Apple needs competition.
Yeah, for real, for
Right.
real.
Literally,
Otherwise, monopoly laws.
we would have
No.
took that shit out by now. They would have been took it out. But
No,
they're integrating
no.
all of that shit. I think Androids are gonna be iPhones in no time.
I think they're both
Yeah,
gonna
we
merge.
got.
Yeah, they're
we-
gonna be one big.
They're both gonna merge
under
to a
one.
point. The
So, yeah.
smartphone can only be perfected so
They're-
much.
that's
Well,
what
AI is
everything
out
is
now.
coming down to that. Everything is coming down to their current. I say no, not Apple.
AI.
I'm Team Android.
Forever.
But if they don't, yeah, until it could only be one. Whenever if Apple wins, then I'm Team Apple. What else am I gonna do? Until then,
Yeah, I feel like Android, to be Android, it's a statement to be on Android too. You know, like I feel that.
It is,
it's
bro.
a statement to be
It's
on
like-
Apple.
It's like not getting
What
your.
you say? You don't try to act like
It's
I'm
like-
like I'm doing something irrational just to make a statement. Y'all doing that? Fuck it. Like, my statement is this shit is better.
Nah, I get it. I get it.
You feel like it's better, see, because you haven't explored the other side. That's
For me,
why.
it's
That-
like I have
that-
AirPods in my pocket. I have an Apple Watch.
Look,
You
Like,
know,
dude, having
iPad,
AirPods, yeah,
Mac-
having another Apple device, it's like that's where it is. You know?
Look,
you wanna
that
understand
what you said, I
the
won't
way we
deny.
communicate.
Yeah.
What you said, I won't deny because you just said the only reason why you're that side is because you haven't tried the other
Haven't
side.
went there.
I have no argument against
You
that
know it's gonna happen.
because that's what I say to people when we get into the flat earth debate. I say the only reason why you believe the earth is a globe,
You haven't been over to the
exactly.
side
You
to explore the
believe what you were taught when you were a
knowledge.
baby, and you won't consider the other side.
That's
So you,
100%.
but as soon as you consider the other side and then you question your side,
Look into some
you
facts.
never go back to the earth as a globe because it doesn't make sense.
It
It just
doesn't make
doesn't make sense when you think about it and you consider the other side. That's the side that makes sense. So you never heard anybody say, yeah, I was a flat earther once and it made sense to me. But then I realized it doesn't.
Yeah,
That never happens. Like you always
It goes the other way, never
Exactly.
the opposite.
I feel like
exactly.
I don't know. I feel like you'll come around to the globe.
No, I started there. There is no
I know, I feel
I
like-
started there.
I've recently actually like just I don't know.
Cardi B
been
said the
thinking about
word.
it. I've been questioning if the Earth is actually flat, but I've been questioning and like letting in the ideas of the stories of a firmament and like
Yeah.
all
What,
sorts
the
of this weird
firmament?
shit. You know, I've heard.
Look,
I've
dude.
heard. That's mine.
This it's as simple as this. I'll give you something
I
simple.
thought it was a bottle of something
No,
deadly.
no, it's just water.
That's different, bro.
Something deadly.
I wish I had
Wait, what's this?
I bought the bottle
I'll
like a
use
week
my
ago.
phone.
And just keep
Just
reusing
keep
it.
refilling. Erewhon?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of that too.
Yeah.
What the fuck is
Look, it's as simple as this when it comes to
but
the flat earth.
It is what it
It's
is.
a gang of things. It's a gang of things. When it comes to the earth being flat, when it comes to the globe, all of your explanations end with, well, I'm not a scientist, so I can't.
Mhm.
Well, it's too big to see, so you can't. It's always like, so you
ask
can't.
it.
Hold that
But
thought.
then-
Hold that thought. Not to cut you off, I swear. But I was just thinking when you said your last thing is once you understand that knowledge, bro, you have to just believe in the unknown after that. Because you can't go back to believing like we're
mean?
floating in a ball with water that sticks to it and goes around. So
That's
you just
the
have to
unknown.
believe in what you don't know, though.
As far as believing in the globe,
Anything.
no, with the flat, you believe in
You
what
don't
you
know.
actually know. That's the thing. You believe in what you
That's what I'm trying
know
to say.
to be the
Have
case.
you ever
That's
heard
what
this?
you start to lean
Have you
on.
ever heard this? There's things you know, right? Then
The
there's
things you don't know, and the things
And
you
then
don't
there's
know that you
things
don't know.
that you don't even know. Like you talking about the flat
And
earth.
don't try to fucking
But you
add
don't
one slur
even
junior
know.
me. Don't try to add one slur junior me. That's okay. That's the next clip I'm gonna have on here. Just like
Type that in.
just like I got.
Exactly.
I got this one. I'm gonna have to upload this one. I'm gonna play this.
You know what I want?
Now that don't fit the context, but I'm gonna do that.
Something like
Pretend
that
that was
right
the
there.
you don't know what you don't know.
No,
There's known unknowns and
because
there's
as much-
unknown
no,
unknowns.
As much as you do know that makes you believe what you believe is enough. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you learn those things What haven't you
But look,
learned?
but
Like,
look,
how far is the Earth? If it's
but
flat,
look,
how big? How far does it go?
how far does the universe go?
That's how far the Earth goes.
Yes, that's how far this plane goes. That's how far this plane goes. Look, with everything said, both scientists, you can look in like not scientists, philosophers, and in the Bible it says on earth as it is in heaven. Look at heaven. People have a false misconception of what flat earth is. They think of something like this, and then they go, well, why don't you fall off the edge? But it's like, okay, well, you look up in space. If you were to do a spacewalk, when would you fall off the edge?
Well,
In
I think
space.
it's
In
more
space,
probable
exactly.
in
It's the
the
same thing. Imagine that the ceiling is space, but imagine that the ceiling being space goes on forever like space. It's a ceiling.
Right.
The Earth would be the plane that we exist
Under.
on is underneath it, and so
Right.
it mirrors.
So it will go on for as far as it goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
It's like
on Earth as it is in heaven.
That is.
And yeah, it's
like
just
a-
different planes of existence,
Okay.
and they got us
Seven
encircled.
heavens and
Yeah, so it's like if this is the plane that we exist on, and this goes on forever, they just have us here, and they got
and we're
barriers.
blocked in.
Yeah, but if these barriers weren't here, we would just be able to keep going in any direction.
Think about that. That means we could still just be going forward.
And keep
Like
going.
space.
Yeah, and look, and then
Like
look,
the
and then
satellite
look,
they got
and look,
just been going
and look.
forever.
We would keep going, and then the next thing we would walk into would be Mars.
Right.
And then
Wait,
and we would
no,
keep yes,
not right.
yes. Well, whatever is the next, it's Mars right after Earth, right?
No, you can't get there.
No, no, no. Look,
Well, that's
look,
clearly
look.
separate.
The way, look. I'm just saying, like the way they tell us, we're the third rock from the sun, right?
If that shit is
What
even real.
they say we're the third rock from the sun. What's the fourth
True.
one?
Uranus.
Mars,
Mars.
right? What's the second one?
No,
You
Mars
know?
is
The
before
second-
us. What are you talking about?
Second planet.
No, I think Mars is after us. So let's just say he's right.
Mars.
If Mercury, then Venus, then Earth, then Mars. So let's just accept that as the
Okay.
premise. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. On a flat plane, it would be Mercury, keep going,
Seen it.
and then Earth,
Seen it.
and then Mars, and then like you would keep going. It's not
You're not.
you're
reaching
not
them.
yet, but no, you are
You're
though. But
going
like
un-
this would be
So,
Earth.
hold on, hear me out though, because that makes complete sense. But if there's dimensions and we're in the third dimension, which we are,
All of them, all of these planets will be.
3D.
so it's not necessarily a two-dimensional like line.
Correct.
We exist in three dimensions, so it accounts in 3 dimensions of like travel. And an infinity of that, if you layer dimensions and like their vastness, could be like distinguished as like a visible line.
But we would have to go through some type of.
As some I
Look,
think
just
that's the
imagine if
concept of all of this
just
is-
imagine if the Antarctic wall wasn't there.
Right.
Earth
Well,
itself would have like everything that exists has a magnetic field. I have a magnetic field.
No
You have a
cap.
magnetic field. Apples have a magnetic
we
field.
all do.
So Earth has a magnetic field. But once you get out of Earth magnetic field, you're selling. You're just selling. But then you get out of Earth magnetic field and you enter into Mars. But you're on the same plane though. And that's now you're in Mars. But you're not flying out into space and going to a new planet. You're on the same plane, but you reach a new
Again,
magnetic field. Like, because we got continents on Earth. So
Yeah,
each
but
continent
those
is
aren't
different, but each continent is connected by the Earth's magnetic field. And
well,
then you got
for
the
instance,
continents that are
sorry, you
connected
just-
by this
thank you.
planet's
You just broke it
magnetic
down
field.
for me right there. So in between here, just like you just water, like that we would have to cross for a long time to get to Mars. Then
Yes, but
Because it
until
wouldn't
we
be-
until we there,
thinking
it's just
land, you're just saying like Earth land goes on forever and ever and ever,
when because like
but it,
Like-
it would be water
'cause-
forever.
yeah,
and
well,
you
yeah,
get on to
because like
Mars.
the U.S. doesn't go on forever. There's water in between the U.S. and
Of course.
South
what
America
I'm
and Australia,
saying.
and then
Yeah,
but
like,
then all of those continents are united
You think
by
there's
one
difference
magnetic
of the
field.
wall?
There's a magnetic field that unites all these continents, and so that's
No,
Earth.
Not a
Yeah.
magnetic.
Yes,
No.
That's what I'm saying. There's
No.
a magnetic Earth.
All those continents are just connected under the ocean from a big. They're all.
I'm telling you, everything is
water-
connected. Everything is connected by
It's
electro.
under the ocean.
Everything is
To get to
connected.
the next.
Everything is connected via electromagnetism. Everything. We're connected via electromagnetism, like on a microscopic scale.
vibrations.
Yeah, everything has magnetism, everything has
how-
electricity.
All
So
right, so-
electromagnetism, everything. So Earth itself has its own
Yes.
magnetic field,
which creates a
and yet
gravitational pull.
to the
Yeah.
center of Earth. But
Keeps
if
us
you
locked
could
in.
get out of Earth's magnetic field,
Then you could go.
whatever is
Yeah.
in between.
How we gonna have
I
it?
need
Yes,
to
sir.
store 'em, but now
Yes,
keep
sir.
going.
All right,
Get with
whatever is
in
in
between.
between Earth's magnetic field
Yeah.
and Mars' magnetic field, don't know, but we could consider it the celestial ocean.
Mm.
Just like there's oceans between our
100%.
continents, there's a celestial ocean between
To
this
get
magnetic field and
To
that
get there.
magnetic
And
field.
we could get there for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I probably believe so, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
All right, fam. Be safe. Be safe out there.
Yes, sir, my boys. All right, let me get our proper little go. I thought that was my little bit. Yes, sir. I like the podcast, man. Let's do some
We can do some specific shit.
Let's
Any
do some
any
shit.
specific thing you want to do.
you down with this?
Yeah.
Get people involved. I know a couple of stars. Once we get our shit built up,
Oh, man.
I'll pay them a couple of dollars as a feature, come talk on our shit and put it on their page to get it out there. My sister owns a marketing company, bro.
Mhm.
If I show her like I'm doing this with my people, this is what we've been doing here, so she gonna go, oh, I want to promote. She'll promote our shit, bro, and probably
Yeah.
get up to the next level. But I gotta really show myself.
Yeah.
She like, you ain't that. I'm like, you
I
could have
feel
been
you,
made
bro.
me rich off rap. You could have
That's-
promoted my shit. She said, you got the money. That's how she is.
I've been trying to tell you for a minute. I just now got tied on it earlier today. So like y'all
Yeah.
finally, yeah. So it's here.
I like it,
Whenever
bro.
y'all want to.
Let's do it. Every
It's the
fucking
same
day.
shit that we do anyways. Just now it's being recorded.
Are you
Cause
down
we
to-
always shooting the shit like
you
this
down to, skits?
and all that. Yeah, my uncle got.
Too.
Yeah, my uncle got
Yeah, I'm
recording
doing
and shit and
skits,
everything.
like,
We do all type of shit.
yeah,
I could write them. I could write them,
shit.
act in them, and all that type of shit. It depends. Yeah,
Yeah, down.
I'm telling you, bro.
Don't fake it. 'Cause you're right,
Dude,
we
I'm
keep
telling
like-
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's real.
Alright.
You need it.
Yeah, what's good, bro? I'm Jay, man. I always see you up in the street, so you're already, bro. I always pass this thing. I won't be.
Yeah, that's my bro too.
That's bro too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out of here, my niggas.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
Have a good one, man.
My niggas and my niggas. Thank you.
So yeah, like I said, man, we get into a whole bunch of different little topics. The flat Earth one, though, you said you somewhat on the fence about it.
Well, I think the rabbit hole is crazier than we even think. I think that flat Earth is like a very valid like one to land on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that ultimately, like I believe in probably more than flat Earth and like a hollow Earth.
That would be the same thing because like it would just be underneath flat Earth if it's people.
Heard, okay. I kind of get you. It's just different layers of it.
Yeah, different planes, and so like I'm saying. So look,
I don't know,
here's one for flat Earth that
I think it just has
think
like-
of.
I don't know. It's to manipulate Earth into like a nice living environment that is still traveling through three-dimensional infinity. Makes sense. But I feel like also you kick a rock down the road long enough, it's gonna turn into a ball. Everything traveling through what we can observe and measure as being like existence. You can point, if Earth is a globe, you can point out directions on one side, they can't point. Yeah.
You can do all that on the flat map. Just consider this: when airplanes will stick to commercial flights, because like fighter jets, they do all type of maneuvers. But just sticking to commercial flights, when a commercial flight takes off, it takes off with its nose up. pointing up at an angle, right? When it's in flight, its nose is still pointed slightly up, because if it was pointed down, the wind resistance will push it all the way down to a nosedive. So it's still slightly up as it flies, and as it lands, its nose is still up. Does that make sense? Because we go on, I could like pull up some videos where they like will verify like that this I'm saying that's the starting principle, is that the flight goes no matter how far, to nose up, fly nose up, nose up. Never at any point during the flight does it tilt its nose down.
Well, but it also gets to a point measurably where you go up and up and up, where the atmosphere, like down here, we are in atmosphere. It just becomes weaker and weaker, you know. As you go up, it gets colder too, right?
Mhm.
Everything slows down. At the like there's less energy, it just gets colder, temperature goes down, and so does like air density with temperature. So it takes a lot of power to like keep going after a certain point.
Mhm.
But if you don't have that much power, the thing, a globe's mass has so much more than yours in an airplane, that to break away from it, they call it escape velocity.
Right. That's what you need in order to.
But like eventually, as you get up, relativity, relative wise, like if it was a flat plane, as you go up, it seems to curve. And if it is like flat, what would make it so that as you go up higher and higher and higher, like you can distinguish like a curvature? And relative to that spot, if the earth is spinning and you go up and you're flying the opposite direction of the earth,
Mhm.
the whole time it's going to look like the earth's going much faster than if you're like going this way, because the
Right.
earth isn't spinning with the angular
Right.
momentum.
It's slower if
Yeah.
you're going against the spin. Right. Like if you're going with the spin, it's going to seem like you're traveling faster because it's spinning and you're going.
Yeah. But if you like deviate from that, if you start like flying north south or whatever, like you'll notice relative to where you are flying, you are either going to veer left a whole lot more, or you're not really going to veer right a whole lot, if you're going up at like a northwest angle.
Mhm.
So like kind of relative, like you can kind of track around this thing.
Yeah.
And
But-
if is it like when they take up, like, dude, the SR-71, the Blackbird, is like 60s, 70s tech, and that thing was going like Mach 3, Mach 5, way the fuck up,
Mhm.
so fast that they'd shoot missiles at it and it would just outrun them. And like, dude, they were equipped with many things. Mainly, they had like really, really, really unbelievably high tech, high quality super zoom cameras from back in the day. I don't know. It was a really unique thing, and that's really old tech. And like the YouTube bomber, like you get up there and the views from it, like you can really start to see the Earth kind of just turn to a little globe, and it makes sense, kind of,
Right. But
that there is just vastness more, and like there is scale. We can observe scale here on Earth, and at every scale, things just kind of tend to turn into little balls. The smaller, smaller, smaller. And theoretically, atoms, neutrons, electrons, protons, they appear to be kind of three-dimensional little balls. And like I think it just scales and scales and scales, though we're still locked to the third dimension, just the inherence of our existence. It is 3D, but we can prove mathematically that there's a fourth and a fifth, and so on and so on. Like you can prove, the mathematics basically work out in a way that says like, hey, if you add this extra theoretical thing, you can still get back to the same conclusion. Which, like, I don't know, I'm not like totally educated on that, but
right. Now, remember, I said, like, when it comes to defending the globe Earth, the response is always in with, well, I'm not exactly a scientist, so I can't. That's how the response is in.
Okay.
But now, look,
feel that.
do you accept the premise that planes don't tilt their commercial flights? They never tilt their nose down during during 100% of
You
takeoff.
just kind of gain velocity.
No,
like,
just the nose of the plane. They never at any point, whether it's takeoff, flight, or landing, the nose is never tilted down. It's always up during takeoff, slightly up during flight, and also up during
when
landing.
you're watching like a little stunt plane, though, it goes up and it knows that.
That's why I said, like, I'm sticking to just commercial flights, because jets, stunt planes, they do maneuvers and everything. But I'm
But,
just
like,
talking about flying
the bigger
from
and the
continent
heavier
to
you
continent.
get. So
So you don't accept that premise?
I think that it's an interesting point, and I could.
Well, I just googled it just in case you did. I just do commercial planes tilt their nose during flight. It says commercial planes constantly tilt their nose up, a slight pitch up during cruising flight. This angle of attack allows the wings to efficiently slice through the air and generate lift required to support the aircraft's weight. Says the tilt of the aircraft's nose changes depending on the phase of the flight. Takeoff, the plane tilts nose slightly upward to gain altitude. Cruising, the nose remains slightly tilted up, usually about 2 to 3 degrees relative to the horizon. Turning, instead of turning like a car, planes bank to direct their lift in the direction that they want to go. And then descent. Contrary to popular belief, planes do not point their noses downward to drop in altitude. Instead, pilots reduce engine thrust and the plane follows a carefully controlled descent path.
So hear me out. You know how
Landing.
so boats.
The nose is pitched slightly upward, so the main landing gear touches the runway. So I'm gonna just recap real quick. The takeoff, the plane tilts its nose sharply upwards. Cruising, the nose remains slightly tilted up. Landing, the nose is pitched slightly up.
Yeah. I don't think I would dispute any of that. Just so if gas is fluid, fluid doesn't mean like liquid, right? Fluid is ever morphing and like interactable. You can wave your hand through the air and you can feel the resistance of the gas, you know.
Right.
So in the same way, so a boat goes through the water and it doesn't just like turn, right? It banks, and because of buoyancy, the acting force, also a bit of fluid dynamics where the boat is pressing into the water with the amount of speed that it has, plus the weight of it. It's putting force onto the water, and water doesn't move that freely. Like water takes time. That's how waves build up and stuff. So you're pushing the water in front of you at a certain point, which is creating, resistance. So you get this effect where the nose is going to be up. So you give it more gas and you get up and you can tilt the nose down a little bit, but you always keep the nose up a little bit to account for
What,
the
on
fact
a
that
boat?
there's water drag. Yes.
Yeah, but
yes,
we
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about planes. It says you never
I'll
tilt the
get
nose
there.
down.
I'll get there. So, well, it goes up and then it finds its little thing. So
On water, yes.
because it has mass and because there's drag of the fluid, which is water,
Mhm.
it's always going to be affected and kind of dragged on and negatively affected by that. So the point of a boat is like and to get it up to speed and to like travel distances to get it fast enough to where it planes on top of the
Mhm.
water. So that same thing kind of applies to airplanes where there's more acting principles on a wing generating lift, but to a big degree in a big commercial jet, the wings are huge. They're huge, and they don't need to go that fast, but they
Mhm.
get up there. And just from the shape of them, like you throw a paper airplane, if you perfect a paper airplane, and you make it as big as a building, and you drop it from 100,000 feet with some force, you'll get an airplane, and it would glide. That thing's massive, so it's going to be gentle. If you wanted though, like the guys on 9/11, they pitched that shit down.
Mhm.
They pitch that shit way down all the time. There's so many airlines that have had that happen. There's a guy in
Yeah,
Seattle called
you could do
Sky King.
you could do maneuvers, like I
Yeah,
said.
you could do it with a commercial flight.
Yeah,
It's just not
like
optimal.
no, it's not what they do. Like it says during takeoff,
Yeah, I think
up,
that
during cruising, slightly tilted up, so that they'll do it because if they tilt it,
You got E5.
nah, I just had that one that he came and smoked with it. But if you tilt it down, it would make the plane nosedive. So it always is takeoff up,
okay.
cruising up,
Yeah.
landing up, right? So just imagine this is the bottom of the plane where the wheels come down or whatever, and this is the top of the plane. It never tilts its nose down. This is the North Pole, and this is the South Pole. So if a plane did a flight from the North Pole to the South Pole, I want you to explain to me how would it get from this position on the North Pole to this position on the South Pole without ever tilting its nose down? What maneuver would it have to do in order to do that?
Relativity and
Show me with the phone what maneuver you would do to go from this position to that position without this is the nose and you can never tilt it past the 90-degree or the 0-degree point.
I think that's a fair point at smaller scale that
On a large scale. At no point, at 0 point of a flight but they have commercial flights that'll go supposedly over the curvature of the earth, but at no point does it tilt its nose down. So how do you account for the curvature of the earth if you never tilt your nose down? Because you could go as far as you want in this direction, but if you never tilt your nose down, you would just keep going off into space. You would eventually have to tilt your nose to account for the curve of the earth. Even if you're flying like this, you would have to account for the curve of the earth by tilting your nose to do that.
But if you take a commercial airline and you zoom out, you see the scale of that little thing, it's never going to be going fast enough for that like to matter. It could go
It matters because there's
not at the scale
degrees.
that
Look,
you
yeah,
want.
it does because this is 0 degrees. This is 90 degrees, right? So a plane never goes below 0 degrees. It'll go however 45 degree, whatever degree, but it never tilts its nose, so it never goes under 0 degrees. But in order to go
Well,
over
if
the
that were to
curvature of
happen,
the earth, it has to. Even if it went just 1 degree, just 1 degree under 0, -1, that's enough to account for eventually curving under, but it never goes
but that
under
because
0.
the size of the earth is so big though, like for well,
It still has to break 0 degrees, but in order to break 0 degrees,
It
the
would
nose
lose-
has to tilt.
there's
You can't get around that. Well, the nose has to tilt to break. It has to tilt to break 0 degrees. It has to, but it never does. It has to tilt to break 0 degrees. This is 0. You could go up 90 degrees, but you have to go at least -1. And then you can say the earth is so vast that even though it's just -1, eventually it curves all the
if
way
you were
around.
going
But it
fast enough, yes.
it would, but it never
100%
goes below 0. It would have to go below 0 in order for, even if it was,
if you were going fast
even
enough,
if it
you
was
would.
0
That's
point
why we can send things out of orbit,
-1.
though. That's how we send things to
Well, they
Mars.
curve. A rocket will curve. You'll see it in the sky. It'll curve. A rocket does that. It'll go straight up and then it'll curve and it'll do that, and you'll see the nose tilt.
If
But a commercial flight, the nose never tilts below the 0. It's always above 0.
when the plane,
But it has to go below
the
0
sun
to
was
curve.
orbiting like this. The plane. Here's the sun.
Right.
And the sun is going this way, and we're all dragging behind it. So it's like here's the sun. Here's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn.
Do we-
The sun is just so massive and it has so much gravity so much gravitational force because of its mass. It is so dense and there's so much energy within it that things are sticking to it, you know. And we're talking about electromagnetism. The sun is massively electromagnetic, and so this thing is blasting through with angular momentum of the galaxy that we're in, which is spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all being dragged around by a black hole in the center, which is this really weird three-dimensional, super massive, all dense, forever massive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just whip shitting around so hard that it's spiraling a galaxy. And so our sun is just brute forcing it through at fucking galactic wind speed.
Yeah.
And so all these rocks that have accumulated some fucking how our solar system accumulated during all of this, like many others. And so we're just getting whip shitted through space as well. And there's so much force of the sun that it's carrying things like Jupiter and Saturn. Like these, Jupiter was almost a star if you look at it chemically. Like it looks like it's broken down from what should have been a star. So we're just trying to catch up. That's why we get fucking pelted with asteroids and shit. Other things are existing. Not everything is going in relativity to our sun going fast as fuck. Other things have been shot out this way and whatever, you know. And they're all eventually going to curve back into the black hole. But everything's intersecting and shit happens. That's why we get hit by asteroids. So the planets aren't orbiting 360 around us necessarily. They're orbiting trailing behind us. But to scale, like, while that's all happening, we don't get to see them orbiting behind us the whole time because we're twisting and hurling around. But for life and for anything to exist, there has to be stability, and it's almost more miraculous that despite this, the Earth is spinning just right, that it doesn't flip shit around. It has just enough gyroscopic force that it just kind of wobbles around while spinning, and it's energetically stable enough for water to have been able to settle here, because water isn't unique to Earth. It exists everywhere, and it can exist in several forms. It can exist in gas. It can exist in liquid. It can be gas and oxygen, hydrogen. It can be a liquid as 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, and it can be ice, which is just frozen H2O. So it doesn't have to exist as the form that we have it on Earth, but water weighs a lot, and water has a lot of force to it as well. And water is so forceful and so vast and so ever flowing that it could be said that it has memory and that it has power, you know. And you can feel that there's so much energy in it, you know, just wiggling around. All that intermingling of all the molecules and atoms, like it creates a good thing, a warm thing, just warm enough for it to be a liquid. You know, it's miraculous, but it's heavy, and so is the Earth. And there's supposedly a giant, huge chunk of molten metal, which makes sense to have successfully traveled through fucking the cosmos and became Earth. You know, heavy shit would have won that fight, and ultimately been beat up into you know, as things become more massive, as we observe, they become more circular and maybe a little bit fat, because Earth is kind of like this because it's spinning and water weighs a lot. And like the amount of the weight of water that affects the tides in relativity to the moon has a lot of mass. And as it whips shit around us, it's kind of attracting the water to it. And that's what makes the tides come up and down in relativity excuse me, in relativity to where the moon is in positioning with us. And it's all a unique little coexistent thing, but ultimately I think that it does make sense that we are on like a little ball, but you can shoot out to any of it if you have enough force. Just the thing is, things weigh a lot and things have a lot of mass, and to get away from the scale that is Earth and how it has managed to pull in a moon with its force, you know, it's a lot. It takes a lot of force to get away from that. So when you're piloting a commercial jet, dude, you were like, you can't even see that on a speck when you zoom out. Like you can take a picture on a commercial airline and you look down and you're like, holy fuck! Like if this plane was on the floor, and you never see it, you know.
Mhm.
And it goes like that for a long time, you know. Big planet. Um, so you're not ever going fast enough to have to start escaping the mass of Earth, which would take angular momentum to shoot straight up. You know, not only is the world spinning down here, but so is the atmosphere. It's following it. That's how winds are created because the Earth is spinning and it's pulling the air around. And there's little hot pockets and whatnot, but it's kind of vortexing, and you can see that. Like you can do like hear me out. I'm gonna do a smoke
Yeah, I'm
ring.
listening.
Right, I kind of suck at it, but
I was hoping you. I thought you. I was like, oh shit! You know how to do the dang competitions and everything. Yeah,
I
oh
used to.
shit!
But anyway, when vortexes, when there's energy, you know, and so when it has energy from being pulled around, it's gonna kind of vortex and swirl. Like you'll see that off of wing tips and stuff. You get tornadoes and hurricanes, and you know, it's crazy. And I don't know. So I think ultimately it would be more impressive that we are a flat Earth and bound by a physical wall, you know,
hmm
then we are just not there yet to go fast enough, at least to our knowledge, because there's dude, UFOs are they're real, whatever they are.
hmm
They are. They're real, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And really involve people with like Skunk Works and Boeing and Lockheed Martin have alluded to weird things over the years because they cannot do something without consenting or like without us. They have to say everything that has to be done at that level, you know, kind of spiritually. Like they have to admit in some sort of way, and that's how media is manipulated and why everything paints a narrative in a picture because they're trying to sell you a deed that they are doing in a way that we are going to accept and allow. We are going to consent that thing to occur on our plane of
hmm
existence. Therefore, we may be affected by that thing. You know, they're trying to sweeten it. Everything's a deal. That's it comes back down to our play that is Earth and our politics and the shit show that we have going on. And I think that ultimately the reason for all this shit show is because the answers that we are begging for probably are so vast that we're not gonna know how to deal with it. I think strong people are going to be able to get through, but I think it's going to, if we ever find out, I think it would shatter people for whatever reason that is. But facing an entire existential crisis, and I think the UFO psyop is a psyop to hide something a little bit weirder, you know, just a little bit weirder.
That's possibly true.
Um,
Which is saying a lot because that
and
would be weird.
what is
So
just a little bit weirder? I think that's sweet
that's what I
with
said. That
people
would,
for people to like keep following. I think it's way weirder, and I think that people of our existence know it. I think that there's things from outside of our levels of existence. I think that there's things from inside our level of existence from other planets, both here. I think that we have figured out ways to travel to potentially both.
mhm.
Um, and I believe that possibly the dual spirituality that we have is much more heavily utilized than religion may tell us.
Right. Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Just on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you feel like you did at explaining how a plane would be able to circumnavigate the globe north to south without tilting its nose down?
I feel like I did pretty well. When you're going up, when you're a plane and you're traveling through air, which is a medium, just like a boat, you're always gonna be affected by that medium. You could fly perfectly straight, but like the wing is designed to use the body of the aircraft. The whole thing is designed to just kind of go at a paper airplane doesn't work because the wings make it go perfectly straight. What they do is they catch air, and air kind of like swirls up underneath, and it kind of sags the rear, and it's made in such a way so that the front of an airplane, there's a center of gravity on an airplane, and it's heavily considered, but ultimately at a point it has a stall point. Every airplane has a stall point where the nose will tilt right back down uncontrollably, and
It
you'll have
doesn't
to.
do that.
Right.
If it does that, it
But that's
nosedives.
because but that's because it's maintained. But again, the scale of an airplane going up, you'd have to go so fast, so fast. Would be 10,000 miles an hour. Eventually, you'd have to start on Earth. Otherwise, you would just shoot out.
Yeah, in order
That
to account for the curve, you
or
would
you go
have to
slower.
tilt your
You
nose.
become affected by it, and you glide back down, and your nose, because every airplane is heavier in the nose than in the rear. And if you imbalance an airplane, that's how shit crashes out of the sky, and it's terrible. But every airplane has a point, what I'm saying though, where the nose would tilt back down, but they're not going
It doesn't.
that fast.
I'm telling it doesn't. It doesn't. The nose doesn't.
But
It
that's
doesn't
safe.
break.
Every single, you could
It doesn't
nose
do
back
that.
to the ground and pull up at the end to like give.
They don't do that. I'm telling you, they don't do. A pilot will
I hear
get
you, I hear
fired.
you.
A pilot will get fired
but
if that
they could.
were to occur.
They could, you know.
And they could, and then they crash to the floor, and
Yeah.
everybody dies, and then that would be a tragedy. So to avoid that, they don't. The nose doesn't tilt down. It doesn't. Like you good. Like
It doesn't need to.
it. Well, so that's what you're saying. You saying it doesn't need to, and in order to explain why it doesn't need to, I would say that was a pretty explanation. With flat earther, why a plane wouldn't need to tilt its nose to circumnavigate the globe, you would just say because it goes like this, and it could get to any continent that it needs to without having to. And so my thing is, with every explanation with flat Earth, yeah, it would bank.
Have to bank left to right.
Yeah, it would bank left and right. It could do that, and it would do that on the globe. But on the globe, in order to account for the curve, like if this is Australia and North America is over here,
so it would fall back in.
no, it would like because look, you see how like this is the flight is going this way, like the wind resistance is going like this, is parallel or is perpendicular to this 90-degree angle and is parallel to 0 degrees. And even when you bank, the flight is going this way, it's still perpendicular to the 90-degree 0 angle, even when you're banking. But if it were to tilt this way, the angle changes. It's no longer 90 degrees. But when it banks, it still remains 90 degrees right here. Is the direction and the 0 degree. It never, whether it banks like this or it banks like that, it never does this when it's traveling this way. Because if it did a little bit, the wind resistance will push the nose all the way down and it will nosedive. If you're on a like a fighter jet or you little trick plane or whatever, it'll do that. It'll nosedive and then it'll do a backflip, front flip, and all type of little maneuvers. But on commercial flights, they bank left and right, but it always keeps perpendicular to 0 degrees. So on a flat Earth map, you just explained about, yeah, it just does. It never has to tilt its nose down to do it. But if you're on the globe and it needs to get to the other side of the globe, at some point it has to tilt its nose to get to the other side of the globe. If this is the north and this is the south, it has to at some point break this
Not
parallel.
necessarily though, because if the world is spinning underneath you, if you're flying this way and the world is spinning underneath you and you're going only ever so slightly fast,
Look,
so you're still gonna want to
just
be
look.
nose up.
This is the North Pole. This is the
But to be
South
an
Pole.
airplane, you'd have to
Look,
be a spec.
This
on it,
is
bro.
this is the bottom of the plane, right? Show me how you go from this position to this position. Do it without tilting the front of. If this is the nose of the plane, do it without tilting the nose. I'll hold this, so that'll be the globe. And you can show the maneuver. You can't. This can't
There's-
break
there's-
0 degrees.
But this isn't impossible to scale.
That's what, but even if
Right.
it was, even if it was, no matter how big the scale is, from this position to this position, it will have to go from here to here. You'll have to do this to do this to get for it, the wheels. If the screen is the wheels is down on the North Pole. The wheels also have to be down on the South Pole. But it has to flip in order to
What
go
about
from north to
Australia?
south.
Australia.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It was inevitable.
It's all right. It wasn't bad.
it was all good.
It was all good.
Yeah, a little vacuum can't handle. But
It was all right.
I'm saying, like, if this is, even if this is like, if you're doing it like this, and this would be, if this is North America and this is Australia, you would still have to tilt the nose to go from the screen facing this way to the screen facing that way. The phone has to flip. You have to flip the phone. It's just on a globe, it flips like this. But I'm saying, how does the phone flip without the nose? Take the phone from this, ever breaking 0 degrees, but it has to end up like this.
It's just impossible to scale between a phone and that ball. You know.
Even if you made, even if this was,
But
two-
that
even if
eliminates
this
the
look,
factor of
just-
that eliminates the factors of drag and of air resistance and of what it
It-
actually takes to fly
it
an
doesn't-
airplane over the massive scale of.
because you're saying scale, like just imagine if this was, just imagine if this was like a thing, a plane the size of this on a thing, like it still would, if this was the size even smaller than this, it still would be in this position, very small. You wouldn't be able to see it, but it's still in this position, and then it would end up in this position, no matter how large the ball is. The tires of the plane will be on this, like this, on this side of the globe, but then it goes forever and forever and forever, and it has to travel for days just to get to the slightest curve of the thing, and then it's finally curving, and then after a year it's finally at this position. But it has to go from being face down like this to face down like this. Eventually it had the craft has to flip upside down.
I'm
has to.
gonna look up a quick debunk and see if somebody can do it better. If not, I'll take it.
It's just, I mean, I'm just saying, if you can tell me how the craft could end, like, you do get that no matter how big the planet is, it has to go from being this way up to that way up if it's going to keep it. It's the bottom has to be towards facing the earth. Like when a plane flies, the top of the plane will never be facing the earth. It'll always be the bottom of the plane facing the earth, right?
Huh. Give this guy.
Is that something about the airplanes?
They won't go from South Africa to South America direct over the ocean. Hold on. No, they don't. Prove it.
You can buy the flight and go yourself,
You
Dan.
cannot buy the flight. No, you can't.
You
You're not
sure
gonna.
can.
No, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So that's something that we can take offline and we can try to prove.
I mean, can we take up on that? Because you're just lying about reality. So that's all you can do is
What
lie.
I'm saying.
Sounds like he is too.
You want to go together? You want to meet up in Santiago and get the flight and go to Sydney together? Is that what you're proposing?
The data.
How about you just
Let's
do it
go
by yourself?
online and find
So
it.
you could take a direct flight to point A to point B anywhere.
Sam, I don't know. Yeah. Which two
So
cities do you want
Derek,
to do?
Derek, I'll get back with you and I will show and prove to you that it doesn't exist. How about that? It
You're
doesn't
gonna
exist.
prove that it doesn't exist by not finding it because you don't know how to use the
You
internet.
cannot provide that flight. And if you do attempt to provide that flight, it would never take off. It will never happen. Has not ever happened. Hold on. The pole to pole circumnavigation has not ever been done. And will
It
never be done.
has many
No, it hasn't.
times.
Prove it.
This
Prove it. You're
okay.
making a claim. Prove it.
Google
I will prove that it
Google
hasn't been.
circumpolar
I
navigation.
will do my part. I will do my part.
Google circumpolar navigation.
Your part
And see all the videos. This is all you have. Is take
We
things
do
that have
that
happened
ourselves.
and go, no, they didn't. That's
Circumpolar
all you have.
navigation.
Circumpolar.
And even, I don't even know what point he's trying to make, but fuck it. If he's gonna destroy his point, I'm all for it.
Standing to the desk.
Circum-
This has nothing to do with the lights. You don't-
Did he say circumpolar?
It's not rotating.
Well, how come it totally is?
Sky definitely rotates.
Yeah,
Hold on, the two objects in the sky are rotating.
all of the stars rotate around one of the poles.
Listen, you just said the sky is moving. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear how dead your brain is?
When you look at the night sky, the stars go around the pole. You're denying naked eye observations of the night sky. You're denying this light exists. No, it doesn't. The circumpolar navigation
Oh, yeah.
has happened. No, it doesn't. When
What that was. But I don't know what point the dude was trying to make him, but it says
circumpolar navigation say?
says circumpolar navigation involves flying, traveling, player land. This includes both. 1924, first aerial circumnavigation. I think let me see, transpolar.
Right, that's not the circumpolar.
Yeah, So I think we
65
both
polar
understand what he's
flight.
saying. Pole to pole, the first official pole to pole, two transrail captains flying. Field tanks flew both north and south pole, 57 hours, 27 minutes. So like, I don't really want to dig too much into that. If they say they did it, they say they did it. And I'm not saying that's impossible. My claim isn't that that's impossible. But I don't know what dude was
I
talking
think
about.
that time is an interesting one because I think that time exists on a linear plane while we also exist in a relative to us, like on a flat earth, on a globe earth. I think that we exist on the globe earth, and I think that we're all wick shitting around just like everything else is. And by the miracle of whatever you want to call it, God, chance, whatever it is, we exist, and we get to even question it. We get to even like observe it in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that's chance, but time, I think that time is, we can't relatively like put it on a flat line, kind of. But
Yeah, see,
I think if you go,
we need to do
whole thing for
for this, because like I got a whole theory on that, because my theory on I believe time, what we interact with is time, space, and matter, right? Time, space, and matter all came into existence at one time. You can't have any of those things without the other two things, because if you can't have space, like if you had space, you would have to, there would be a time where you put that space, and there would have to be like it would be something to constitute what that space is. That's what matter is. Like if you have matter have to have a space to be. And then there's a time where you put it in the space. So all those things have to exist all at once. And that's what we're dealing with. And then just different manifestations of those three things. But I feel like those three things derived from time, space, and matter derived from energy, vibration, and frequency. So I feel like energy, all matter is just energy. If you go to a quantum level, they explain to you how the when you break down a molecule and you get to the basic fundamental aspects of an atom, it's 99.9% empty space. And then when you look at the nucleus of an atom, which is that 0.1%, and you zoom in on that, that's 99.99% empty space. And it just keeps doing that until infinity, to where it's like it's energy.
It does that to scale.
Yeah, it's
upwards
yeah,
too.
it's
That
yeah,
is just
yeah, it's
space.
just energy
Yeah.
fields vibrating at a certain frequency that makes it appear as solid matter. And it acts as solid matter because when I press down on this table and my hand doesn't go through it, it's not because my atoms are pressing physically against the atoms of this table. There's a magnetic field working between these atoms. That's the table's magnetic field is resisting my magnetic field because the molecules are packed so tightly in this table it appears solid. So like it's as if there was a larger object with a magnetic field and it was just one solid object, but the magnetic field is so strong that you can't get trying to put the two magnets together, two like sides together, like two opposite sides, they'll attract. But trying to touch two similar sides together, they repel each other.
Mhm.
It's hard to get them to touch. So it's like, now imagine if you take trillions upon trillions upon trillions of the negative, and then I'm also negative. I'm not going to be able to touch the magnet. So the same way I'm not, it feels like I'm touching the table, but I'm not. It's the magnetic force that's keeping me from going through it. So that's on that scale, right? So energy becomes matter, vibrating. Vibration becomes space, because to vibrate you create space when you vibrate. And then frequency becomes time, because frequency is just a measure of the rate of the vibration.
Well, so while we're sitting here, we're going 0 miles an hour, right?
I guess subjectively.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Earth is still spinning. The
According
Earth,
to what you believe, I don't believe it.
I believe, I
flat Earth.
believe the Earth is still spinning,
Uh-huh.
and it still has momentum. That if the Earth stops spinning, the trackable momentum of the oceans would just tsunami all over everything. You know, it would plow in.
I don't believe it.
The atmosphere that we have is also relatively being stirred around and just kind of existing on us. Everything's spinning. It's all kind of orbiting together. It kind of like a mythic crystal ball, you know, with the flames just kind of floating around in there.
Mhm.
That's kind of how like the clouds stick to us, like at that molecular level. And at a molecular level, it doesn't matter what angle it is. It is that molecule there or it's not.
Yeah, because it has superposition.
Yeah, it just is. So angles of relativity don't really matter relative to size versus scale, right? Like because anything that we're going to experience is going to be on a scale that is not molecular. It's not going to be on a way where we can observe the energy going on with those magnets.
Right.
We can just physically like use
we
it.
experience
Yeah.
the effect, but
We-
we don't experience the cause of the effect.
But the cause nor the effect of that are tied to an angular position. Things are just going to occur, and to nothing in there does it really matter the orientation of it. But by its matter of existence, it doesn't need to. Nothing of that thing's existence needs to accord with anything for ours.
Uh-huh.
The vibrational energy of a magnet is way different than ours. Everything about it. It does. So for us to perceive any value is going to be paying attention to things that do accord to our lives, right? And that's why we spent so much time, you know, trying to conquer the skies and whatnot, because that used to not be something that we could do. And just ultimately, like even if you go, like you were saying just a second ago, if you keep scaling down and like it just becomes more and more and more and more space. But
Uh-huh.
all these things are kind of little superposition, little dense little balls of whatever matter they are.
Yeah.
You can keep expanding out, and eventually those things clump up so much they become Earth, and then they become everything else that makes up our local solar system. But that's just looking at it from within. All these things, everything exists all at once. Everything occurs at the same time. But going out from within, from where we are, and just looking out, the space gets more vast. You know, the little balls of energy get bigger, they become planets, they become stars.
Yeah.
They become neutron stars, they explode, they become repulsions of energy. You know, they create energy, they repurpose it and they send it out a lot of force, you know.
Right.
Um
So look,
and you just keep creating more and more and more,
yeah,
or less or less or less.
we gonna definitely have to just have smoke sessions and talk on all type of shit. Like the flat earth is wild. I don't like, I tell people what I believe, how I believe. I don't try to get, like, if you don't, just hear me out, and if you don't believe it, fair enough. I don't care to debate too much over it. I don't care to debate too many things. I just like to share opinions and ideas and stuff like that. And I could tell,
something that's kind of
yeah, I could tell smoking with you, we would talk for hours, starting off talking about this and end up talking about some shit to where it's like, how did you go from here to here? So,
thanks,
but
bro. I feel the same. I feel the
yeah,
same way. I could talk to the end of the world for
yeah.
real. Like
So as far as this to go, I'm about to wrap this up. Anybody still listening, I appreciate you still hanging in there and rocking with us on this. We're gonna wrap it up. But we just gonna smoke and talk. And then the next time we do one of these, we're gonna pick a specific subject. We're gonna deep dive into it. And we're gonna have like videos and stuff that we could pull up, because I'm pretty sure every the questions that I asked you were on the spot. So you came with a video that was somewhat relevant to what we were talking about, but I'm pretty sure if you had time, you would have found something more specific to the thing. Yeah. So if we're gonna have a conversation like that, we're gonna do it that way to where you can come out ready.
I'm also high. When I get high, these are my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we're gonna get high the next time we do it, but we're gonna do it, and you're gonna have like your evidence, my evidence, and everything, so we can really get into it. Because I love these type of conversations, and I could just have them. We don't even have to stream them. Yeah, we don't even have to stream them or anything. But I think it really would be captivating if we do have the conversation beforehand, and then so all of exactly what you need to come with, so then when we record it, like everybody could get the full experience of like
reels.
yeah, exactly. So I think that'd be fun.
To the park, upload it, see if it does something.
Yeah. But for now, we about to be out of here. Leisure World, Max Leisure was what.
So yeah,
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, go ahead, like and subscribe.